On Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. The app, we're everywhere. And so are you. So thank you very much. You're in Edmonton, the surrounding area, anywhere else in the province. Maybe you are out of the province, out of the country. We love it. Oiler fans, sports fans, they tune in from everywhere, and we very much appreciate it. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Wednesday. It's a good news with some bad news day for the Edmonton Oilers. The good news, they're up 3-1 in their series against the Dallas Stars. A big 4-1 victory, 2 empty net goals salted away from Kapanen and Henrique. Really the first game of the playoffs where the Oilers really needed their power play to help win a game. That's it. That's how good they've been all postseason, as it took for their 11th win before you can say, hey, the power play played a major role in the game. Now, the power play has helped, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't been the major focal point. Last night, it was the power play, Stuart Skinner, and then the defensive play for the final 30 minutes where they locked it down, especially in the third period. The Oilers, end up out shooting the Stars, but the Stars, man, in that first period, it was the Stu Skinner show. He was excellent again. And then Edmonton found their leg. They got going their power play. Dallas took 3 offensive zone penalties. And the Oilers scored on 2 of them. The third one came with 5 minutes left in the game. And it seemed like almost the Oilers power play was a little hesitant. They didn't want to take any risks or chances to give up a shorthanded opportunity. So they killed it off. Then they win a big face-off from Draisaitl, Kulak, the alley-oop long bomb. Kapanen skates into it. Good night, Irene. And now the Oilers will head to Dallas with a chance to knock them out for the second consecutive season and move on to the Stanley Cup final. They could find out as early as tonight as who they'll face. Florida wins in Carolina tonight. They punch their ticket. So here's how my understanding is the Stanley Cup final, when it's going to start. If both of these series, end tonight and tomorrow, the Stanley Cup final will start next Wednesday. It'll play Wednesday, then they'll have 2 days off. They'll play Saturday. If one of the series goes 6 games, and it sounds like they're going to start on the Saturday. Now, to me, like if Edmonton wins on Thursday and Florida wins on Friday, why couldn't you still play on Wednesday? So part of me still thinks there's a chance that way. I think if Edmonton goes to 6 games on Saturday, they don't want the Cup to start on Wednesday. They like a little bit more of a leeway between the two teams. But sounds like if neither are done in are taking longer than 5, then you're going to get an extra break, similar to last year. If you recall, the Panthers won the East final on Saturday. The Oilers won the West on Sunday, and the Cup didn't start until the following Saturday. So you might get a little bit of a break, so plan ahead for next week if you think the Oilers are going to avoid losing 3 straight, which I think is a pretty good chance the way they're playing and the way the Dallas is playing. Dallas can't score. Pretty obvious. Stuart Skinner's got their number. He's outdoing. He's got a 1.85 goals against and a .929 save percentage in 10 career conference final games. I don't ever want to hear someone tell me you can't win with Stuart Skinner. It's clearly not true. I think you can. Now, also today is a very big day. There's always more important things at time than pro sports. I know that's hard to believe because we love it. But I think the one thing that's very good about sports is just the opportunity to play it at a young age. It's phenomenal. Okay. Many of you, some of your best memories as a kid probably involve sports. Now, maybe it was road hockey. Maybe it was playing, pickup basketball. But in a lot of cases, it's playing organized sports. Hockey, ball hockey, soccer, football, tennis, badminton, whatever it is, track and field. You'd love it. It's one of the best things. And being on a team sport, it's awesome. Who doesn't love it? I had so many great memories of minor sports. Still now, this many years later, I can remember, wins, losses, just having a good time. Even playing in the jungle, man. It was great. Heck, playing men's league, slow pitch, just playing sports when you're on a team. God, it was awesome. The chirping, so much fun. And so today, this is our fourth annual. We team up with Kids Sport to get kids in the game. And so it's you can join Gregor's Giving Gang. And here's how it works. You can do a $25 a month donation. That's $300 a year. You do $25 a month, comes off your Visa. You don't even notice it, really. Right? It's like what? 4.5 less coffees for you a month if you're a big Starbucks person. Right? Maybe going to Booster Juice, a smoothie. You're like, you know what? I'm going to cut down. One less a week, and away you go. So the goal here today from Kids Sport, and Dana from Kids Sport, she always likes to set a goal because then you have a set number to reach. And that goal this year is 97. Want to sponsor 97 kids. So we got a lot of listeners, 97 listeners. Each one of you does one kid at $25 a month. Boom. Now, you can pay a one-time fee of $300 if you like. It's your choice. If you want to do multiple kids, even better. But we're looking for 97. Okay? And we're off and running. We actually have a few. Now, the good news about this is we do have a few carryovers from last year. So a big shout out to Kyle and Dawn, Cam, Kelly, Noel, Michael, Tanner, Jason, Mike A, Dean B, Rami, Jonathan, Chris, John, Brad, Julia, Mike, Harry, and Glenn. So we got 19 already, right? I'd emailed them because I have the email because we give updates on where the money's going, and they're back in. All right? So we're already at 19. So that's a pretty good start. We're already 20% of the way there. So 833-401-1440. Just text in with your name. I'll have your number. We're going to forward it on to Dana at Kids Sport, and she'll be in touch with you, get everything set up. So all you got to do is text in 833-401-1440. This is this is actually our fifth year. So we've raised over 100K, supported over 350 kids over the years. You get into our Gregor's Giving Gang. It's very easy. There are tax receipts available if you're wondering about this. Now, kids can choose to participate in 90 different sports, facilitated through many different sports clubs and many of their school partners. So you know what? If you want, and you're like, hey, I really want to support a kid, when you talk to Dana, then you can even mention, hey, I want a kid in this sport or that sport. It's fantastic. So something that's really personal to you, you can do it. And I'm telling you, you get. I do have a note that I always like to read, and we actually are going to have somebody who went through the Kids Sport program join us a little bit later on in the show today. And I also have an email from one of the mums of a Kids Sport child who was the benefactor of your generosity. And it's important. It really is. It can make such a difference in the lives of kids, and just the opportunity to give them a chance to experience what you did. Like, think about how much fun you had playing sports, right? I think many of you would know just how cool it is to be part of a team, and sometimes win, also lose, right? Losing is never great, but you learn something from it, and usually you don't even forget it. So here's one that I want to let you know about. Hey guys, I want to express my deepest gratitude for Kids Sport support and helping my son Alex continue playing soccer. We're a family of 5, and we've been facing significant financial challenges. Providing opportunities for our children to participate in sports has been difficult, But thanks to Kid Sports Assistant, to your listeners, our son can continue to do what he truly loves, which is playing soccer. The sport brings him so much joy, and it helps him stay active, build confidence, and be part of a team. Your generosity makes a real difference in the lives of families like ours, and we cannot thank you enough for the opportunity. So that's where your money is going. So, and hey, if you're a believer in karma, if you're a big Oilers fan and you're thinking, you know what? I got $25 a month. Positive karma. Do you believe the Oilers can win? Maybe you're $25. Sends out positive karma. I'm a big believer in it. Big believer. So 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We got Gary is in. Attaboy Gary. We got Mondo also in. Northside Adam stepping up. We also have Stuart H is in. We got Ping in St. Albert. I love it. So I'll pass on all your numbers and your information, and Dana's going to call you and set everything up from Kid Sports. So that's a great start. Now we're up to 25. So let's keep it rolling. We're already over 25% of the way there. We just started. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Give a kid the opportunity to play sports. It'll make a difference in their lives. And honestly, you'll get some notes there throughout the year to remind you where your money's going, and it'll be great. Other news, of course, Zach Hyman, that's the bad news. He's done. Season's over. Requires surgery. Man, I've talked to a lot of people. I can't get 100% lockdown. Experts who see the reaction and everything. A lot of people think it's a wrist injury. Now, wrist or hand, just the reaction to it. I've seen a lot of people think it was a dirty play by Marchman. I don't think that was a dirty play at all, right? Hyman saw him. He's trying to get out of the way, and that's just a freak, unfortunate injury. That's what it is. That's not a dirty play. It's freak, unfortunate injury, and he's now done. You know what? He left about, 10 minutes into the game last night. The Oilers played really well without him. They'll miss him, no question. But opportunity knocks for some other players. Look at the Oilers. A lot of people thought they couldn't do what they're doing without Matthias Ekholm. They've won 11 games without Matthias Ekholm. Can they win 5 games without Zach Hyman? I think they can. Especially when Matthias Ekholm, very good chance, he could be back as early as tomorrow. Now, Connor Brown won't play tomorrow. If there's a game 6, I don't think so, but I think he'd be available for game 7 and, of course, for the Stanley Cup final. So that's good news. Right? The Oilers have a lot of depth. I could see Ekholm coming in tomorrow and also Jeff Skinner. I think they'll give Jeff Skinner a look. You know, he's been chomping at the bit, waiting. He did play one playoff game. It was like a little bit of a tease, and then he was out. Hasn't been in since. But every time guys come back in the lineup, like look at Victor Arvidsson. I thought Victor Arvidsson had a really strong game yesterday. He still blows wheels more than anybody else, but he was involved. He was engaged, played hard. And man, you're Jeff Skinner. You're seeing how everybody's playing, and you have the opportunity to help your team get to the Stanley Cup final. So yeah, I think it's going to be Jeff Skinner, and I think there's a really good chance we will see Matthias Ekholm tomorrow. Not 100% sure, but everything trending, people I've talked to, is that he's getting very, very close. For those asking, if the Oilers win their series, they have home ice advantage because they had more points in both Carolina and Florida. If they make it that far. Hey, Gregor, how big of an addition do you think Ekholm will be? Well, can they play that much better defensively? Right? Like, they've been playing great defense as a team. Like, Matthias Ekholm, he just has to come in and fit into a spot. So I'm guessing, you bring him in, you can play him with Bouchard, and then you have Kulak and Nurse, and you have Wallman and Klingberg. But I don't know if you're going to play, I wouldn't be surprised if Ekholm's first game, maybe he's limited a little bit of minutes 5-on-5. Just not to you're not going to play him every shift with Evan Bouchard is what I'm saying. Evan Bouchard's played unreal. He's playing a ton of minutes, right? Plays now Nurse and Kulak, because I've seen a lot of people oh yeah, they don't need Nurse. What? Are you guys paying attention? Honestly, do you pay attention? In the Vegas and Dallas series, Darnell Nurse has been exceptional. The other thing that people overlook, he doesn't play with McDavid and Dry. He plays way more without McDavid and Draisaitl. And he's still outscoring the opposition when he's on the ice. Nurse has played the most minute of any player 5-on-5 for the Oilers. It's a big impact. Right? Evan Bouchard, all the defense are playing good. I have no concerns about anybody. But, Nurse and Kulak would play a lot. I could see Wallman get a few more shifts. And Ekholm, he'd probably come in at 17 or 18 minutes. I just don't know if he's going to play first game 22 minutes. So we'll see. I think there's no way that he's going to hurt you. That's how I see it. Cons, there's no negative here to bring back Matthias Ekholm.
No, I'm with you. I mean, he's going to get in there eventually, right? So eventually you got to make that plunge and make sure that the injury is okay for him to get back in there. I like the idea of having the security blanket of having the seventh defenseman just in case. Worst case, you're not going to be down a defenseman against a Stars team that we know can make you pay. So for me, for sure, I think at some point you got to get him back out there. And what an addition he will be. How many teams would love to have that guy being brought onto your squad in potentially the Stanley Cup final? It could just be such a massive boost.
Yeah, I don't think, though, I'll say this, because Hyman and Brown are out of the lineup, I don't think they'll go 11-7, because that's two of your top 6 forwards in total ice time per game. And that's why I think you will, you'll have, or maybe it's 2 of the top 7. I got to double check it. But either way, it's 2 guys who play a lot. I don't think they're going to ask that many other guys to play more. So I think if Ekholm comes in, he's in for Stetcher, and then they'll bring in Jeff Skinner. That'd just be my hunch. I could be wrong, but they look at a lot of different things here. And so the certain guys, if Hyman and Brown are healthy, I think 11-7 could probably be more of an option, because you got guys who are used to playing bigger minutes. So not saying they can't do it, but that's kind of what I would guess to see. On the program today, man, we got a loaded show. Mike Rupp will join us right off the hop. We got Doug McLean talking a little Stingers. They're back in action tonight. If you want a little reprieve, go watch the Stingers at home. We got Grant Fedork. We're going to talk about injury, broken hand, broken wrist. Also, Ekholm. We saw him a little, the groin injury when he came back. How do we ensure that doesn't happen again? Yaremchuk will be by. Courtney Weber. Of course, she went through the kid sport program. Also, Rich Winter. Speck will be by, and much, much more. And also, of course, it is the Gregor's Giving Gang. If you want in to help out, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's $25 a month. We got to our goal is to get to 97. So we're off to a good start. I'll update where we're at. We got more coming in. I think we'll push over 30 here in the first bit. So that's great. Let's keep it up. Keep the momentum rolling. 833-401-1440. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Back by popular demand, the Operation 36 Junior Golf Program at Cattail Crossing Golf Club. Designed for kids ages 5 through 17, it combines instruction and on-course play, focusing on technique, strategy, and course management. Taught by certified CPGA pros. Only $325 for 4 weeks of instruction, plus 4 9-hole rounds of golf. Operation 36, Wednesdays 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. through August. Register at cattailcrossing.ca. Click on Junior Program or call 780-973-6686.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
Your Edmonton Riverhawks usher in the 2025 season with a massive home opener party Tuesday, June 3rd. Get there early for a cool Indian relay demo with horses and a world champion hoop dancer. Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at gohawks.ca.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Are you an elite athlete or weekend warrior and you just want to enjoy playing the sport you love with less or even no pain? Have you tried every exercise and stretch imaginable, hoping the next one might do the trick? Well, you tried analog. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe healing can move along better and sometimes even faster with evidence-based technology techniques and the people who know how and when to apply it. StimPod, zero-gravity treadmills, radial shockwave, and so much more at your fingertips when you click to find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
At Sherwood Honda, you'll find the true north traits Canadians are known for. Friendly? Check. Reliable? Check. Canadian made? Here's how you check. If the first digit on the VIN number is a 2, that Honda was made here in Canada, like the Honda Civic, CRV, and CRV Hybrid. Sherwood Honda has a whole lot of 2s for you to choose, a whole lot of spirit, and a whole lot of reasons your heart sure would be glowing when you pay them a visit.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
What's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this?
Today's Wednesday. Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
'23. So, man, we are rocking and rolling. So, Julian's in, Fabian, Jeff, Pat, Alex, Eric, Rob. Dawn's going to do 2. Thank you very much, Dawn. It's Dawn with the W. Lady, I love it. Ladies, stepping up. Also, we have, we have Lee is in, Quentin is in, and Mike is going to donate and sponsor 4 kids. Unreal. Awesome. So I'll do the quick math during the next break. But off the top of my head, man, we're closing on 40 already, which is a great start because we got to get to 97. It's good karma. Now we can go over that. Totally fine. It's Kid Sport Day. You're supporting a kid to play sports. It's $25 a month. You can do a one-time payment of $300 if you like. Just text in your name, and I will get Dana from Kid Sport to reach out to you. We'll give you updates, and you'll be part of our giving gang, which is it's a fantastic gang to be part of. I can tell you right now, it's very cool. All the cool kids are part of the gang. Who hasn't want to be part of the gang? Now we don't have any cool leather jackets yet, but maybe we can consider some. We'll see. So there you go. 833-1440, 833-401-1440. Okay. So there you go. Now let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, where $1. That's all it starts. $1 to get a coffee at McDonald's. Great tasting. Whether you like it 1 cream, 2, some of you like 3 sugars, whatever you like, get it for $1. Small coffee only at McDonald's. As we welcome in Mike Rupp from the NHL Network, also ace analyst for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Rupper, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. Very good. Let's start with the Edmonton Oilers, and let's go in the first period. Stu Skinner, man. Stu Skinner, you need your goalie sometimes. And that's 2 straight games in the second period of game 3. And then period of game 4, Stuart Skinner was the best guy on the ice, kept the Oilers in the game.
Yeah, we hear that all the time with goaltenders. Give us a chance, right? Give us a chance to win, but also buy us some time. And I think Stuart Skinner's done a really good job of that. And then even to maybe lead into the third period last night and the third period the prior game, just really limiting opportunities. So relying on Stu Skin at certain times, but then also doing a good job where he doesn't have to be overly taxied in other situations of the game. And for me, that's playoff hockey, right? Like you got to lean on everybody at different times. And I thought Stuart Skinner was huge in the first period.
Oh, he was great. And then after that, the Oilers kind of took over that game. Like they did not get in the third period. They gave up nothing again. Mike, what has impressed you most about their ability to just, slowly be like a python and just squeeze the offensive out of opponents? We saw it against LA, we saw it against Vegas, and we've seen it against Dallas now.
I know we've had some fun with Connor saying we can defend and kind of hearing him be frustrated with that. But we've seen it. I mean, we've talked about it on your show a lot over the last couple of years. Like that was a misconception with the Edmonton Oilers for a few seasons now, that they were just a top heavy team that just only relied on their power play. No. This team, when they're at their best, they're defending and they have a lot of structure to their game. And we're seeing that right now. I think the one thing that really has impressed me and stood out to me, Greg's, and I said it last week on the show, they're a nasty team, and there's a lot of layers to being nasty. I think you have to be like that in the playoffs, and sometimes it's nasty with just a play like Bouchard with Hintz last night. I got no problem with that. I would have an issue with it if I was on the Dallas Stars. But hey, this is the playoffs, man, and you're going to sit in there and you're going to push buttons and you're going to grind. And if Evan Bouchard's doing that, and it doesn't really seem like his personality to do that, that's a group, that's a handful you've got on your hands if you're the Dallas Stars. And the reason why I want to talk about being nasty, that third period, I went back and watched it today because I was sitting there thinking to myself, man, how does Dallas only get 4 shots in that desperate moment? And I'm watching that third period and I'm just seeing puck battles won by Edmonton. Every single guy, even if that's not your MO. Like some of these guys that I maybe wouldn't look at and say, oh, that's a junkyard dog mentality. That guy, they're bringing it now, every single one of them. And there's a shift in particular that I watched. It was about midway through the third. And Dallas, the one thing with Dallas Stars, they don't like to dump the puck. They haven't all season long. They're a possession team that likes to gain the offensive blue line. And I think it was Granlund had it. His only option is really to dump it. He didn't have any support on chipping it by. So he kind of held on to the puck. He got thrown to the ice. Edmonton gets the puck. It kind of bounces around a little bit. And then you just see them. The puck then goes over by the benches, and Granlund goes over to get it again, and Kasperi Kapanen just throws him to the ice like nothing. Then you see them change lines, and it's basically the Podkolzin and Janmark are on the ice with the big boys of the Dallas Stars, and they're taking their lunch money. And I guess that we have Blake Wheeler on NHL Network last week, and he really simplified this, and I think it's so true. The NHL playoffs, a big portion of them, it's about just taking the puck, throwing it over there along the wall, and just saying who's going to win the puck battle. And people could say there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, goals and skill is certainly important, but you got to have the puck, and you've got to create turnovers. You've got to win puck battles. And right now, the Edmonton Oilers, they're winning them in spades, left and right, all over the ice. And in the clutch times of the game, the Edmonton Oilers are coming out on top.
They're playing very well. Mike Rupp joins us from the NHL Network, and the only negative for the Oilers is they lose Zach Hyman for the playoffs. Rupp, that's obviously a big loss. There's they can't sugarcoat it, but the Oilers, hey, they didn't have Ekholm, and people thought they couldn't play defense, and they've won 11 games without Ekholm. So the way I look at it is, can the Oilers win 5 games without Zach Hyman? I think they can.
Oh, I absolutely think they can. I mean, it's going to hurt. That he's a big piece of that lineup. Let's say this though, and just to look at the glass half full, I think what you're seeing Corey Perry do around net front, and we've known that he can do that for some time, but what he's doing and how he's playing net front, whether that's on the power play or just even in 5-on-5 situations and clutch moments of the game, that can pick up the slack for a Zach Hyman. I mean, Zach does a lot of other things out there. I think the one thing that may again, you're always a better team when Zach Hyman's in the lineup, but you're also coming back with Matthias Ekholm might be coming back here soon. Maybe this makes the decision easy to go 7 and you're going to go 11-7, and you're going to get 7D going in there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, we were looking at a breakdown the other day, and I'm thinking, what do you do with this decor? Everyone's playing so well. Like, you obviously are going to want to have Ekholm back. Well, maybe you can ease him back in a little bit more when he's ready to go, because that decision's been made for you as far as Hyman being out, and you can address an extra defenseman. So yeah, it's going to hurt. But man, what I'm seeing from a lot of these guys on this roster, there's so many guys that are they're hungry for the opportunities, and they're going to try to fill in that gap or that void that Zach Hyman leaves. And I think they got the personnel to do it.
Yeah. Well, they definitely do. The interesting thing is Hyman and Brown are two of their bigger minute guys on the team. And I wonder if they limit going 11-7, because I think if those two are in, they might. So without them out, maybe I'm wrong in my theory, but I wonder if they say, you know what, we'll just put Ekholm in for Stetcher. And because if worst case scenario, Ekholm, we need to shelter him. Well, we played 5 defensemen for the first 9 games, right? Emerson was playing 4 or 5 minutes. Like, I think Ekholm can come in and at least probably play 14 or 15, right? First game back. And then, so it's not going to be huge taxing, because those guys, Wallman, Ekholm, Kulak, Nurse, Bouchard, like, they all played big minutes, and they've all played very well. Like, I can't remember the last time there was a real gaffe by the Oilers defensively.
No, it's true. They've been playing. So I actually think the bigger problem they have is where's Ekholm play when he comes back? I don't know. I don't see how you could break up Kulak and Bouchard. I don't know how you kind of go about it, but it's a good problem to have. And if you can get him back, I think that would do a lot for this hockey club, especially with the bad news we got on Zach Hyman. Clearly different positions, but two guys that provide intangibles, and that's this time of year. So I'll be excited and hopeful that we see Matthias Ekholm back here.
Mike Rupp joins us. Rupper, we move out to the East, and you got Florida and Carolina. Carolina finally won a game, played pretty well in that game.
Yeah.
Florida had some guys out. They're all coming back in. Greer, Mikkola, Reinhart, they're all back in. How much of a difference do you think it was injuries, or did you see something in Carolina that says, hey, maybe they could squeak out a second win?
I mean, I didn't think Florida was playing very desperate. So that's not to take anything away from Carolina. The one thing I did see from Carolina, I saw them make an adjustment. I feel like, as far as they have always been a volume team is with their shots. And a lot of times, I mean, every time they touch it, they're just throwing it towards the net, funneling pucks there and getting bodies to the net. There's many opportunities in the game where they got the puck low to high to their defenseman, and they were kind of fake shot, take a step, and they're looking for that high tip, or they were going D to D and bringing out a high forward to the high ice. I mean, that was an area that I thought they took advantage of in the last game, game 4, where they just kind of got lost up there in no man's land with some of their forwards in the offensive zone. And I thought they got some decent looks from the middle of the ice. So this is a team that we've talked about to nauseum in regards to them just shooting the puck and getting tons of shot attempts, shots on net, and not necessarily being high quality. I thought they were looking for better quality shots, and at least the metrics from game 4 was some of the highest quality looks that they've had in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, it was still a really close game, but maybe you got to do a little bit more of that against the Florida Panthers, because Sergei Bobrovsky's going to stop the ones on the outside. You can't expect things to rattle around in there consistently and get some lucky bounces. I mean, that can't drive your offense that way. So I thought they looked really good in creating good looks in game 4.
Yeah, I look at Carolina, and unless they have the miracle comeback, they're not winning this series.
Yeah.
And, you're going to look at it and say, hey, good year again. But, did they really get that much closer than they have been in the past? Well, I guess they won a game in the conference final. So in theory, yes, they did. But, they still have the same issues, Rupper. And it's hard to get a superstar. They don't have a superstar. And I find my one concern about Carolina is they only seem to be able to play one way. We talk about Edmonton. They can play offense. They'll play physical. And then if you want to lock it down, they can do that. Carolina seems like they have their one system, and that's all they're in. Do they need more flexibility in how they play?
Yeah, they do. 100%. I think Rod Brindamore is an amazing coach. He's a fantastic coach. I think he's one of the best in the business. I think that their success in what they do on a night to night basis in totality, and I'm just lumping all games together as far as them playing the playoffs and the regular season, they are a team analytically that they really believe in, give themselves a chance to win every single night. So if they keep running it back doing the same way, they eventually figure they'll get that bounce. Uh they'll get some of the shooting percentages to be up for some of these players, maybe the hot hand to get them going. I think that's a dangerous way to go. I mean, they yes, they are a playoff team. If they play this style, they'll be in the playoffs every single season. They might win that division in the Metro every single year. But we've seen this story many times that they playoff hockey's different. And all those things we just talked about with the Edmonton Oilers being nasty, being mean, guys getting uncomfortable. I don't see that there in Carolina. Now, if you allow them to play their game, they will eat you up. And we saw that in the first two rounds. Well, when you get to round 3 and you get to the conference finals, guys are there for a reason because they can play different styles. They can adapt and whatever the game provides. That's one area I think Rod Brindamore and not even beyond him. I think that as a franchise, they've got to believe in what they do and who they are, and I think they do. But they also have to pivot once in a while, and I don't think they've done that over the last few seasons.
No, I would agree with you on that one. So, what about Florida? You know, they get Sam Reinhart back. That's obviously huge for them. You know, there was some concern for a bit that maybe he'd be out long term. That's obviously not the case. You know, Florida, they've been up 3-0 in series a lot and haven't been able to close the door. Any concern at all? Like if Carolina wins tonight, it's just like you're making it a little bit harder on yourself. Like what would you make of that if Florida loses again with a chance to eliminate?
It's so funny because going into game 4, I was thinking to myself, man, this team is just mowing them down, and there's just no match. Carolina is no match to this Florida team, and you just the psyche of it. And I've been in these situations as a player before, and you gotta get these thoughts out of your head right away. But I'm watching the closing seconds of game 4 where they got a couple empty netters there, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I mean, they're going back to Raleigh. And they've been one of the best teams at home for quite some time. And that place is going to be bumping here tonight. So, man, they win that game. Now in your head, you're sitting there like, we did go down to Florida and we win one more. We got a game 7 on home ice. And I think for Carolina, you're like, just win one game. That's all we can deal with right now and think about. Just win this game. They did that. I mean, they do that again. I mean, the pressure shifts. And then all of a sudden it gets to the point where if they can win tonight and the series is 3-2, there's no pressure for Carolina. You're not supposed to be able to do that, especially against a team like the Florida Panthers. So, yeah, it's all of a sudden now. I think that's easier said than done. It's kind of the games we play in our head all the time. We're going to get a different Florida Panther team tonight. We'll see how they handle it. But, man, if they could throw a wrench into it and win this game, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little psychological warfare, I think, with the Florida Panthers.
I want to go back to the Oilers, and, you know, their team is playing very well. They got a lot of guys contributing. You know, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is having the best series of his life, right? 9 points in 4 games, first player in 37 years to have 4 consecutive multi-point games in the conference final. Like, the list is really short of guys who have done that. Gretzky, obviously Cam Neely, a few others. But Connor McDavid-Rupper, last year in the playoffs, he had 1.68 points per game, and everybody was going crazy. He has 1.6 points per game this year, and people are barely talking about him. Why?
Because there's been more than just that. I mean, I think that a lot of people, and I agree, I think a lot of people are talking like, well, these guys haven't even gotten no, they're going. But they've got a lot of other things going too. I think that's what makes them dangerous. And again, to go off of what people have said in the past with this team doesn't defend, or this team, you know, going into this year's playoff, they're not a deep team. They don't have the goaltender. They don't have, I mean, look at the D-core. All those things are going for them right now. So, you know, I still feel like the one thing that it almost feels like to me is like we're still going to have a couple of those hallmark moments. And again, Connor's been awesome. but it still feels like there's going to be a game coming up. In every game that the Oilers play, I'm like, is this the one? Is this the one where Connor gets 4 points? Is this the one where Leon gets 4 or 5 points in the same game? Like, it feels like one of those coming, but quite frankly, they haven't needed that. They haven't really needed it. I mean, maybe in round one they needed that to kind of get going in the playoffs. But that's what makes this team dangerous, man. To your point, he's been just as effective now as he was last year, but the storylines haven't been that. It hasn't had to be just him or Leon. They've had so many different things going for them, and man, they're a tough out right now. That's for sure.
If you are Chris Knobloch, and so Hyman's out, and he's been your top line right winger, would you move Trent? And I talked to Trent Frederick. He prefers playing right wing, right? Like he played a lot of right wing in Boston, right? He's a big physical guy. Do you move him, or do you possibly move Kane? Like, who would you play with McDavid?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I'd probably try to kick the can with Trent Frederick, kick the tires with that and see what happens. See how that would go. I like Evander Kane. Evander Kane's an interesting one for me because although everybody would be better playing with Connor, and Evander Kane plays with some pretty talented players too. Evander Kane's one of those guys. I think he's pretty self-sufficient, and he can go out there and create some chaos on the ice no matter who he's with. So I don't know if I would necessarily go to that right away because that's a weapon you have in different areas of the lineup, different times that you could use Evander Kane that way. If this can maybe unlock something even more with Trent Frederick and maybe open up some more ice for Connor, that'd probably be the place I would start, but you can always go to Evander Kane. I think he's certainly suitable in what he's done in his career of bumping up and playing on a top line like that.
Rupper, always good to catch up with you, Matt. We appreciate it. Enjoy the next few games. Of course, tonight, Florida and Edmonton. Is that a foregone conclusion for you? Are you ready to pump the Florida Edmonton rematch?
It is, yeah. I think I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse, but let's put it this way. I'm doing the finals and we've started booking flights. So we'll see how that turns out.
All right. Well, if the series, I'm sure if the series both end tonight and tomorrow, the Cup starts Wednesday. But if one of them goes 6 games, then it starts the following Saturday, which could be a fairly long break, but it's very similar to last year. So.
All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll see you in person here real soon.
But I can tell you that the weather in Edmonton, Rupper, it's unbelievable right now.
Hey, guess what? I told you last year we went golfing. We had a tee time like 8:30 because of the sunset. I had no idea that was a thing out there in Alberta. So I'm packing the clubs this year regardless. We're going to try to golf every day. So it'll be fun.
No, awesome, buddy. Great. Appreciate it, Rupper. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
There we go. That's Mike Rupp from NHL Network. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. We got some more donations in. I love it. We big thanks to Rob H, Rob S, and Sheldon are in. So we've had a really good start, but let's keep it going. Hey, and we got Quentin and a few others say, hey, I'm a big believer in karma. So we want to help the kids. If you want to help a kid, and you've probably had your kids go through sports, maybe they're going through it right now. Can you afford $25 a month for a year? It's $300 total, $25 a month. We'll get a kid playing sports through Kid Sport. So it's our giving gang today. We're looking for 97 kids to support. All right, we're off to a good start. So 833-401-1440. You can do a one-time payment. You can do once a month for $25. So if you want in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Take a quick break, and we'll return. We got lots more coming up on the show today. Doug McLean joins us next.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this truck month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all our rides at hdedmonton.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:48. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And hey, 2 more donors. Guess who it is? The Con Man and Declan, both of them. Hey, Deck was just talking about his big soccer match last night. Big win for them. And the importance, he's coached. Both those guys have coached, and they see the kids. And anybody out there, if you've ever coached or you played, and you just see the enjoyment you get from kids playing, it's fantastic. Sean's also in, so that puts us up to 45. Okay, this is great. We got to keep the ball rolling. So 833-401-1440. We're not halfway, but we're getting pretty close. We want to get to 97 today for kids sport. You're going to make a huge difference in the kids' life. It's $25 a month. For most of you, you're not even going to miss that $25. And every time you see it on your visa, you'll be like, hey, you know what? Helping a kid play sports. And that's pretty awesome. So 833-401-1440 if you want to help out. Our goal for Karma, the goal was 97. We're at 45. It's a very good start, but long ways to go. So help us out. Let's at least get to 50. So that's 5 before the top of the hour. How about that? 5 more. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Now let's get to our basketball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. The Edmonton Stingers, man, they haven't been home forever, but the Stingers are back home tonight. And they've had really close games, except their last one. And radio analyst for the Stingers, Doug McLean, joins us. Doug, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Good, Jason. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. The Stingers had two really tough losses. I don't think the record's probably indicative of how they've played, but I guess let's maybe go back to that last game. The Bandits are good, but are they that good, or what was off for the Stingers in that loss over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, the Bandits are running everybody out of the gym right now. They're a team that's on fire, and you see that in the CBL. I mean, continuity is a big thing. Good starts are a key thing in the league, and for right now, the Stingers, who I actually think are a better team today than they were a year ago. It's just been a bit of a slow start trying to get guys in and out of the lineup. They brought Cameron McGriff back to the lineup after an early season injury. I think they're still trying to find some rhythm, but they're a team, I think, again, Vancouver pushes the pace. They're a really, really good offensive team. And I think for the Stingers right now, they're just having a tough time matching that kind of pace. And they're not shooting the ball very well. They're a very good shooting team for the most part, especially in the paint a year ago. They're struggling right now to shoot the basketball. And I think those kind of things are starting to add up a little bit. But like you said, a couple early close losses. This Vancouver one, considering how well the Bandits have played, I'm not saying you can completely flush it, but I think you can put it aside at least a little bit.
Okay. Now, I know that their roster isn't complete yet. How soon are they getting some of those other guys coming in?
Yeah, that's a good question. So fluid in the CEBL, and you know this. I mean, following the league for a few years, it's their players coming in and out, and I still believe the team that has the best continuity coming into the season with some players returning, as well as maintaining a pretty steady roster through the season, is the one that's likely to get to championship weekend and have some success. So I think to your point, they're still waiting. They're hoping to get Isaiah Osborne, who will add to their scoring later, maybe early June. They're kind of hoping to see him back. I know they're looking to add some size. I don't think they've confirmed that yet, but they want to add a little bit of size. They had Keon Ambrose Hilton out of their lineup after the home opener. He's their one guy that they can put in that 5 spot. And with him out, they were definitely thin. Nick Hornsby having to step in and defend posts. He can do it, but it's not ideal. So I know they want to add some size in, and they're hoping to do that in the next couple of weeks. They brought Elijah Miller back. He was finishing his pro season overseas, and he's back. So that'll support their backcourt a little bit. Players had a really strong CEBL career already as their point guard. So that'll help. He's trying to get himself going. You got to keep in mind too, for guys like Miller and others, they just played a whole season. Then they travel back here, and they're trying to get up to speed with a whole new group of guys. There's fatigue issues. It just takes time. And so I think a guy like Miller, we'll see tonight if he can continue to sort of get himself back in rhythm. But yeah, you're right. Still some roster changes to come for Edmonton.
Yeah, they've talked about it. It's not a full roster. They definitely would like some more scoring. So let's look at the matchup tonight for the Stingers. They're taking on the Honey Badgers, and if you look at the standings, you're like, okay, if you want to get back on track because your next game's against the Bandits, you got to get rolling tonight. So looking at it, let's start in the defensive end for the Stingers. Who do they got to do? What do they got to watch for to slow down the Honey Badgers?
Yeah, I mean, again, the Honey Badgers, a team, only brought one player back, Prince Odro, and not a player that's going to contribute a ton offensively, bigger body that can rebound a little bit. Kobe McEwen, a player that used to play for Brampton, was in Vancouver a year ago. He's back. He'll definitely provide some scoring for them. Quindary Weatherspoon, a player who has 42 games of NBA experience. He was the second-round draft pick of the San Antonio Spurs, also spent some time with the Golden State Warriors. So, yeah, not too bad. A couple franchises there to have spent some time with. So he comes in, player that can create his own shot, can distribute the basketball. And they're going to add tonight, we expect to see tonight, I should say, Jalen Gainey, a player that has not been available to them yet. He's a 2-time Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year. Spent this past season, his first pro season in the G League with Salt Lake. So they'll add him in. Again, brings a little bit more size to that lineup. So back to what I mentioned before, that puts a little more strain on Keon Ambrose Hilton, puts a little more strain on Nick Hornsby. But Gainey, his first game as a Honey Badger, we'll see how he does. Not a team that runs the floor super well. So for Edmonton, getting back defensively, you can play half-court defensively. You're not having to worry necessarily as much about them pushing the pace. So that's a couple things I think to key on for Edmonton tonight.
Doug McLean joins us, analyst for the Edmonton Stingers. They are at home. There are some tickets left available if you want to get down there tonight. And then, of course, they're tonight. And then they're also at home on Friday night. So kind of a perfect in between the order games for basketball fans if you want to watch it. And then And then I think they're gone. Then they got like a week off.
Got a week off next Friday. Yeah, they're in Montreal.
2 games in 3 days, which is good. You get some playing time. I'm talking to the coach. What is he liked about his team? Where are the areas he feels they really got improved?
Yeah, I think for Jordan Baker, he's going to look at probably a couple things. I think he's going to look a little bit at their aggressiveness defensive. This is a team last year that was tops in the league in turnovers forced. Right now, they're sitting in 7th. So that's really dropped off. And a team, I think, that likes to be really aggressive, especially in the half court defensively. And again, sometimes that's just a little bit of continuity as well, and just started getting used to the guys around you and recognizing when you can step in, when you can step into that pass lane, knowing you got help and support in behind you. And so I think that aspect for him is something they're going to want to work on. And right now they're not a great defensive team. Yes, they gave up a ton to Vancouver, which skewed things a bit, but they're giving up 94 points a game. That's not Jordan Baker basketball. They're a defense first team. They want to beat you. They want to be physical on you, and they want themselves to get out in transition and look to easy scores. They're 7th in scoring right now. So both those things not clicking overly well. So I think what you'll start to see, I think, from this team is one that just becomes a little bit more assertive defensively than we've maybe seen so far in the early season, and then one that can use that to transition into their offense, especially in the on the break.
Okay. The one guy, if we're looking at the Stingers, who I think has been off to a great start. Like we talk about their scoring, but and he didn't play last game, but he was their best scorer through for the first 2 games. So what is the health right now? And his name I'm missing his name. Why am I drawing a blank here? Sean East. Yeah, East. He didn't because he was dynamic in their first 3 games. What was it? Where is he at right now? Is he ready to play?
He did play. He did play in that Vancouver game. He was in that game, so he's played all 4 games for them so far. So as far as anything I know, and I've been reported, he's healthy. So
okay.
So he's been, just to build on East, he's been fantastic for them. I mean, he was the leading scorer in the Romanian league this past season. And a question that I think dogged him a little bit last year was, hey, it's the age-old question in basketball. It's 7 seconds left. You're down by 1. Where's the ball going? And you'd like to have a few different options, but I think right now he would be their answer. And that's a good thing to have that, because it takes a little bit of pressure off the likes of Scotty Lindsay. It takes a little bit of pressure off Nick Hornsby. They've got a little bit more balance, potentially offensive, but East has been dynamic. He can score inside. He's not afraid to take it to the rim. So a really important player for them who stepped in and has contributed very well in just his second pro season.
Yeah. Well, Doug, we look forward to the game tonight. Where can people catch it?
Yeah, it'll be on TSN Plus, CEBL Plus. So make sure to check it out there if you can't get down to Expo Center to watch it live.
Awesome. We look forward to it. Hope it's a great game. Appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jason, for having me.
There you go. That's Doug McLeod, analyst for the Edmonton Stingers. So if by chance you can't make it, you can definitely watch it at TSN Plus. More importantly, get down. If you've yet to take your kids, I'm telling you, it's awesome. And you cannot beat the food prices at a Stingers game. I'll tell you that right now. It is like $5, dude. You can't get that anywhere. So check it out if you're looking for some great CEBL action. Also, we got Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. They're going to in for 2 kids for our Gregor's Giving Gang today. Also, Kareen is in for another one. So, hey, we're getting closer to 50. We need 3 more just to get to 50. Okay, let's get there. Let's get there right away, and then we'll keep trucking to our goal. But 833-401-1440. It's $25 a month. Or you can do a one-time payment of $300. Heck, if you want to do more, you can. But if you want to do one, it's $25 a month or $300 one-time payment, and you do get a tax receipt with this as well. So just text in your name to 833-401-1440. I'll get you in touch with Dana. She'll call you and arrange everything from Kids Sport. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on, but you only got a few days. Stop in now. Get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models only at your Alberta GMC dealers.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers news today is Zach Hyman will undergo shoulder upper body surgery. That comes from head coach Chris Knobloch, who's expected to miss the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs. On the ice tonight, the Florida Panthers looking to punch their tickets to a third straight Stanley Cup final as they can wrap it up with the Hurricanes leading 3-1. Puck drop in Carolina just after 6 o'clock in that one. Good news for the Panthers, looking like Sam Reinhart, AJ Greer, and Nico Mikkola all set to return to the lineup in the Memorial Cup. Post Rimouski taking on Moncton. The winner of this one advances to the semifinal on Friday against the London Knights. Puck drop on this one set for 5 o'clock. In the association, you got the Thunder Chivas meeting at 6:30 in OKC. The Thunder can wrap this one up as they currently lead 3-1. Major League Baseball today. Jays in action down in Texas, taking on the Rangers once again just after 6 o'clock today. Right now, the Diamondbacks trail the Pirates 3-0 at home in the 5th, and in the 4th, Marlins and Padres tied at 1 apiece. Got Edmonton Stingers action down at the Expo Center tonight, taking on the 0-3 Brampton Honey Badgers. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. You can get tickets at thestingers.ca, and the Edmonton Elks announced the signing of American kicker Braden Narveson. They also released national kicker Campbell Bear. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk of Oilers Nation, Oils of Grant, Fedoric from Leading Edge Physio. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, relenting since 1999.
Wednesday.
Adventure just doesn't stumble in
Afternoon, how are you? And welcome. Afternoon, how are you? And how are you? How are you?
Trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills.
So, man, we are rocking and rolling. So, Julian.
Take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail.
Instagram. And, hey, 2 more donors.
What you do for fun is our business.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 right now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay 0 interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
River Cree Resort and Casino presents the best in live entertainment in the venue. June 12th, the music of Dire Straits with DSL Dire Straits Legacy, featuring original members Alan Clark, Phil Palmer, Danny Cummings, and Mel Collins. July 5th, Ian Munson, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun.
Now the whiskey burning now.
And July 25th, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly, an evening of small band and acoustic performances. Tickets at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more. You can expect two things this spring, oil country: playoff beards and weird car noises after coming back from winter LTIR. Don't let something like a worn-out transmission or squeaky brakes keep you from catching the playoffs. Whether you need quality brakes, top brand oils, or a battery with more energy than 97 on the ice, Napa Auto Parts has all your trusted parts, tools, equipment, and automotive needs to keep your vehicle in winning shape for the games ahead. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Service that goes the distance, just like your cart should. Keep your golf cart running at its best with expert service from the golf cart people. From regular maintenance to upgrades like LED lighting, lift kits, or sound systems. Our certified tax spring experience and attention to detail using genuine parts for a smooth, reliable ride. Whether you're boosting performance or just need a tune-up, trust the team Alberta has counted on since 1997. The Golf Cart People. Book now at golfcartpeople.com.
I need somebody, not just anybody.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And hey, great news. We keep on rolling. Big shout out to Dale, Peter, Allison, Sarah. And we are now up to 55. Okay, that's awesome. We are rolling. So we're over halfway, which is great. But we still have 42 to go. So it's a good first hour. We got a ways to go. We need 42 more people to get us to our goal of 97. Okay, we don't want to slow down and just hit the wall. Okay, if you believe in karma, Oiler fans, it's 42 of you for $25. That's not very many people. $25 a month for a total of $300. And that'll help for Kids Sport today. That's who we're supporting. If you want to get in on our giving gang, just text in with your name. We need 42 of you, or maybe 21 of you, because you're going to do 2 each. I don't really care. I don't care how we get there, but $25 a month goes on your visa. You get a tax receipt, and you're going to help kids get in the game of sports, there's so many benefits. Confidence, excitement, learning how to win, learning how to lose. Some of these kids might have never even had a jersey before. Remember when you get your first jersey? First time you put it on, this is awesome. You can pick your number sometimes. It's great. Playing it, maybe score a goal for the first time in your life. It's awesome. So if you want in, text in 833-401-1440. We'd love to have you. We want 42 more to get to our goal today. So there we go. Now, let's get to our injury report, which is a little fresher than some want. Brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona, they have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com. As Grant Fedork from Leading Edge joins us once again. Grant, my man, how you doing?
Doing good, Jason. I'm doing good.
Now, We got a lot of people, and we don't know 100%, but talking to a pretty good source, it sounds like it's, a wrist injury, maybe a hand, or one of the two for Zach Hyman. When you saw the play, and your guy treats all those injuries, you watch quickly, like he couldn't even hold a stick, right? And he skates off. He's grabbing at it. Did you know right away that it was serious?
Well, actually, I knew it wasn't. I thought everybody was saying shoulder on TV, and you could tell when somebody separates or dislocates or fractures a collarbone, when the shoulder's involved in an injury like that, number one thing you'll see very commonly is they grab their elbow, they kind of support the shoulder. Didn't see anything like that. Saw his hand just droop right away and kind of almost go loose. You could tell he kind of held that hand interesting. I couldn't confirm what's going on. Obviously, I'm watching just like everybody else. But straight to the dressing room for a tough guy like him, yeah, something's serious for sure.
Yeah, no, it's not good. So he's out now, but Matthias Ekholm is coming back, Grant, and my story, he's coming back from a groin injury, and we saw him come back earlier, and you know what, re-injured. Now he fell once, and then the second time he was clipped, and it just kind of fell out, and his leg went out awkward. So when you look at groin injuries, first of all, how many different degrees is it a groin strain? Is it a groin tear? Like, how many different degrees of groin injuries are there?
Yeah, so they're all tears. So when you injure a muscle, it's going to be a tear of the muscle fibers called a strain. Obviously, sprain is when you injure a ligament. Those are what hold bones to bones. Muscle, tendon. When you've damaged the muscle or tendon, that's going to be a strain. So always hear that used inappropriately or wrong. So strain is muscle, sprain is ligament. Let's get that one.
Okay.
Same degrees though, first, second, and third degree. And the big one I like to explain to people is the difference between, the first is little tiny amount of tearing. Recovery is pretty quick, Jason. You get back 2 to 3 weeks usually. Pretty much no consequences to those ones. Third degree rupture, you've torn the tendon, you've torn the muscle completely. That's basically a third degree. Those usually need a repair or some sort of prolonged immobilization for those fibers to regain structural integrity. With a second degree, there's this huge variation in how much a second degree is going to cause a problem. So second degree can be anywhere from what I described to first degree, which is a tiny amount of tears, right, to like some partial to almost just barely hanging on by a thread. That's all second degree. So if you've got a significant full thickness kind of second degree strain of the tissue, it's going to more err on the side of how long it would take for a third degree to recover versus a smaller, just a less of a second degree is going to be a quicker recovery. Typically you see these 6 to 8 weeks would be a second degree strain. That would be the time frame you're given most of the time when you see second degree. Third degree is very variable, depends on surgery or not surgery, things like that. First degree, 2 to 3 weeks. So if you're the average guy like I am, loving to watch sports, and you see it goes up there, upper body injury, 6 to 8 weeks, it's probably a strain, but it can be a lot of different things too.
And so for now, you have a guy who's coming back, and a lot of people are like, well, geez, the risk of re-injuring it, right? Like now, how high is a risk of re-injury? Like I've been watching him, like he's been skating hard after practice, like they're running through all the paces, like how high of a risk is there to re-injury, or is that overblown?
Definitely if you're trying to come back during that healing phase. So if you're coming back during the time that the tissue is basically producing collagen, it's kind of laying down the glue. If you come back during that period of time, it's a very high likelihood of re-injury. It could happen if it's not protected properly. If you put the exact same stress that was put on it in the first place, you're going to re-injure it. After you get through that stage, the secondary stage of healing, one of the important ones we call fibroplasia, once you get through that stage, you almost have to do what you did to it originally in order to injure it again. So that's where those time frames we give come from. So they do have different factors that influence them. Genetics playing one of them, fitness, age, they all play a role on how you go through those stages. But you're still going to go through them. You can't fight DNA. You can't fight human, just the way that we're going to heal. So you got to be careful. time frames that Ekholm's coming back, they seem super reasonable.
Okay. Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physio. What about when you're treating a guy coming off of the groin injury? Like, what are the things that you do to test them so they know, okay, now you're ready to go? How do you test the groin fully to know that, okay, now I can really, take a stride as forcefully as I can or stop and start? What do you have to do to get up to that? Because I watch him in practice and he looks good, but are there certain tests that they would put a guy through to ensure he gets a green light?
Yeah, there's kind of the petri dish kind of testing that you do. So it's in the clinic in a safe environment. You're testing the adductor muscles, which one is drained. So you're going to put it on in its most vulnerable position. Test it, well, actually least vulnerable position first. See that there's no pain, no grimace, good strength. Then you're going to start testing it into different ranges of motion where it's going to be more vulnerable. So that's kind of the petri dish. It's very safe in that environment. A person says it's uncomfortable, it's still going through the healing process. That's now pain-free. You put them through all of the range of motion. They're starting to build up strength. They're doing exercise. It's very careful the way you're protecting it and making sure that you can strengthen it in a safe environment. And those are all going well. Now you got to get it out into the real world. That's when you start doing protected ice, like they're skating. First step, no stick, just get out there, skate around, make sure that they're comfortable. And then you're going to put them through various kind of scenarios, right up to full contact being the last one. Full game pace, scrimmage, throw them out there. And if they feel any discomfort, then you know that you're still not quite there. So those are all the stages that they're putting them through. They're definitely not leaving anything to chance with them. It seems like they've got this one under control.
So would you have if you're the Oilers, I don't know, you can't really bring a guy back soft. If you're playing 14 minutes, Grant, you're playing 16 minutes, every shift that you play, you're going your hardest.
Absolutely.
So can you bring a guy like this back slowly? Is it more conditioning rather than actual groin issue?
Yeah, so conditioning plays a huge role. He would have been maintaining that as much as possible. You got to think about the minutes he puts on. So yes, you're right. Some of those guys are only playing, they might play 13 minutes a game. He's playing 30 plus minutes a game, if not more. So obviously his conditioning is hugely impactful because the more you wear down, the more fatigue you've got in other tissues and muscles. The ones that aren't damaged, the more it makes the one that you've injured vulnerable. So for sure, he's going to be up to game shape before they're putting him out there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see when he first plays kind of the number of minutes he puts out on the ice. If he logs normal minutes, then I think they're very confident that he's got a full recovery going. If he's logging less minutes, then they're building him up. That would be the way to look at it. We're guessing. I always say I'm on the sideline just like everybody else. I'm not in the dressing room. But you can anticipate or get an idea of where a player's at based on what you see. You'll see guys go off, for instance, and then you'll see him come out for a shift and then not go back out again. They're definitely putting the guy through his paces a little bit to see what the level of injury is. And he'll come back, and sometimes they surprise all of us coming back and playing the rest of the game. Obviously a lower level of injury. So we'll be able to determine kind of how confident he is. And he's the one that makes the final call at the end of the day.
Right.
He's going to be out there skating as hard as he can. I doubt he's going to be mailing it in. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you put yourself through all the paces, and the time that he got injured the last time, that's more of a freak thing, right? Like he clipped the skate, and it's a groin injury. My understanding was it wasn't the same one, but it was in the vicinity. And that was my last question about Grant. Like when you look at groins to hips and the correlation, the connection between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, your groin is attaching to your pelvis. Obviously, your hip is part of that whole region. There's a lot of things that go on. We're talking about the joint. There's different muscles that are involved. Again, when somebody hurts, let's use the shoulder as an example. If you hurt your biceps muscle, that's one that everybody knows, and you come back and then you hurt your rotator cuff, those are two different injuries. They're in the same area. They both attach in the shoulder, but you've injured two different things, two different mechanisms of injury. Did one impact the other? Maybe, but not necessarily. You can also just injure another tissue on the same side in the same region, and they could be totally mutually exclusive. Who knows in this scenario? I think that, again, this time frame that we're looking at for him coming back, I'll be honest, I think that they've done a really great job of it, and they've been careful. Look how far they've got. So adding him now is a great timing.
Yeah, you know what? Clearly, hey, you've won 11 games without him. Now he comes back in, he'll be fresh. All that. One last one when it comes to now, I know you guys work a lot with concussion. So a player gets placed in concussion protocol, like a Connor Brown. And so now the NHL has it that you're out a week automatically once you're placed in. And so I know you treat athletes like this. So some guy or girl will get put in there for a week, but after a day they feel fine. But the protocol says you got to stay in a week, right? So everybody's different. Do you know that if you're in that concussion protocol, do you have to get tested like every few days to clear? How does it work to get out of it?
Well, there's definitely there's something called second impact syndrome. And I think most people need to be very aware of this, because one of the things I've talked about and I advocate for is I agree with the week and probably could be a little longer. And I think that there is this kind of movement toward kids learning to game and trying not to admit when they've got these injuries because they don't want to be out the week. But I think parents and anybody out there needs to know that the damage done by a second impact immediately after a concussion can be devastating. Yes. And we're talking about it can lead to death. And so I think that week is very important. What are they doing as far as testing? At this level, daily, and they're following symptoms. There's not just symptoms, but there's neurological exams going on every day. But we're really monitoring what they're reporting. And it's really important that an athlete's honest with the person who's looking after them. Your brain, you only got one. It's one of the most important things you've got going for you. So don't mess with it, people. If you've got kids in sport and you suspect a head injury, even if you suspect they're lying, keep them out of sport a week. Like, just don't let them go back for the week. Right. Protect their brains. That's my message to everybody.
Well, I know a lot of teams, even in minor sports now, Grant, they're doing a concussion protocol at the start of the season. Yeah. So then if you have a player, they do this test for a kid, and then if they feel like they've got a concussion or a headshot at any point of the season, they've got to do the test. And if the numbers don't come in a very similar range, the kid doesn't get back on the field or the court or the pitch.
Yeah, it's called baseline testing. And Jason, the sad part is they're doing it. And I think it's smart because of the awareness component. There's not a ton of evidence for baseline testing because concussions are so variable. What you think is minor for one person could end up being a long, drawn out process. And somebody else who has what seems to be a more significant head injury can actually make a quicker recovery. This is the misnomer of brain injuries. There is literally no recipe for it except to take the most prudent approach, which is protect the brain with everything you got. Make sure that you don't go back to sport till things are functioning. I've done talks about this. I've treated kids who are at like concussion number 6, and they're 14, 15 years old. That's not good. Let me tell you, it's not good for the long run. It can have an impact on that person for a lifetime. So treat the brain as carefully as you possibly can. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Great stuff, Grant. We appreciate it, man. We'll be watching tomorrow. We could see the return of Matthias Ekholm.
I'll be watching with you.
All right. That's Grant Fedoruk from Leading Edge Physio. So, hey, guy trades with him all the time. Doesn't feel that, with Ekholm, there should be a huge concern about re-injury. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but if it does, it's not because they necessarily rushed him back. So it's great news. 322, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, we got lots more. We keep it going, man, on Giving Day. I love it. $25 a month for a year or a one-time payment of $300. We're looking to get 97 kids into sports, courtesy of Kids Sport. Okay? We're closing in on 60, which is awesome. So almost 2/3 of the way there. So let's keep it up. 833-401-1440. Just text in your name, and then I'll cook you up with Dana because your number comes up automatically, and we can say it. It's that easy. $25 a month, $300 one-time payment. It's your choice. You can always do more. We got some people doing more, so we'll update you on that when we return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order all day, every day. That's promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
All right, so we got Big Mike in Spruce Grove is in. Also, Pearl, my mother, just celebrated her 80th. She's going to donate. Love it. Also, we have Fraser is in from Green Drop Lawns in Edmonton, Red Deer. They're going to do 2. Fantastic. So let's keep it going. That gets us right up to 60 if my math is correct. Awesome. No, Scott is in and Billy. So now we're up to 62. Yes, we are rolling. 35 left. We're getting closer all the time. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. That's outstanding. So let's keep it rolling. Today we are helping out Kid Sport. And it's $25 a month or a one-time payment of $300, whichever one you choose. Right? We'll give you updates during the year. So you just, as a reminder on what an awesome person you are for helping get a kid in sports, because it is a fantastic opportunity. One I'm sure many of you look back on with a lot of joy. It was a great time in your life. No question about it. And the great part about sports is, man, you play when you're young. Some of you are playing, like Declan. They're playing soccer. That's rec soccer, but it's men's. They take it very serious, very serious. You know what? You're playing men's league hockey, women's league hockey, mixed hockey, co-ed. slow pitch, soccer. You play later on in life, man. It's so fun. So that's what sports, it gets you in the game. It just keeps you in the game. Keeps you healthy, keeps you happy. So if you want in, one kid is $25 a month or $300 one-time fee. You get a tax receipt. All you got to do is text in 833-401-1440 and just include your name, and we'll pass it on to Dana, and she'll get a hold of you. It's awesome. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. The May Day event is on now through the end of the weekend, and then it's gone, baby. And you get great savings. The XC90, I've driven one for many years. Absolutely love it. And every year that like the 25, oh, so good. All the bells and whistles. And you can lease it for 1.49% and save an additional $5,000 right now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com as we welcome in Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and the DFO Rundown, Daily Face-Off as well. Ty, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Greg's feeling good after that game last night, and we might also get another weekend coming up with no hockey here if both these series get finished off.
Yeah, that's true. It's if both are finished tonight or tomorrow, then the Cup would start on Wednesday. If one of them goes 6 games, then it would start next Saturday, which is still odd to me because if Carolina wins tonight, but Florida wins on Friday, why couldn't you start Wednesday? But whatever. They're not going to do it by the sounds of it. So it would be either a Wednesday start or a Saturday start next week for the Cup. Oiler fans are, hey, we can start the Cup earlier, but also that means one less game against Dallas if Edmonton can win. But let's start with, I guess, the negative, Zach Hyman. How big of a loss? Like, is it hard to say that it's going to be that massive because the way the Oilers have played and they filled in other holes? Or do you think that this one's significant because it's basically one win away from the Stanley Cup final?
It's significant because he's one of their best players, right? But I look at, go back to last season, Zach Hyman, who had 16 goals in 25 playoff games. And, a lot of those came in the first 3 rounds. And it was like, okay, if you go back to last year when Edmonton wasn't getting this same level of support from their depth players and Zach Hyman was scoring at an unbelievable clip, like last year, it would have almost been seen as like a death blow. Like, how are they going to win without this guy's production? But you look at this year, not only are all these other forwards putting up really good numbers and finding the back of the net at key moments, Hyman's production a little bit down year over year. He only I should say, had the 5 goals. That's still very good, but it's not what he was doing last year. And also his spot on the power play kind of been replaced by Corey Perry. So I don't think it's some sort of I don't think it changes their odds in the Stanley Cup final all that much. Obviously, you'd love to have Zach Hyman. I'm not trying to downplay his significance and the role he plays on this team, but this is something they can overcome. If they can overcome not having Matthias Ekholm for 3 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs, they can overcome not having Zach Hyman for what will ultimately be a maximum of 8 or 9 games. So they'll be fine. It's not a death blow. And they have a lot of support here. Like if Connor Brown's healthy for the Cup final, I don't know. You're fine, I think.
Well, and I was told that Connor Brown, if the Oilers make it to the Cup final, he'll be ready for the Cup final. I think he'd be ready for Game 7 if it got to it on Monday night. Not sold about Game 6 yet. I don't think he'd be because if he's in, I think he's in concussion protocol, which means he's out for 6-7 days. So I don't think he would classify for Saturday. If my I don't know how it works from Sunday afternoon to a Saturday night. I don't think so, but maybe that's a gray area. I don't know exactly, but I definitely know he's not playing tomorrow. And you're right. If you get him back, then it hurts, but it's not devastating, right? Because the guys that have come in, like Kasperi Kapanen, dude, like this guy, look, and I've always said, like Kasperi Kapanen, if you watch Oilers practice and you didn't know any of the players and you just came there as a first-time viewer, you'd see McDavid and Draisaitl. And then the third guy I might notice would be Kasperi Kapanen. Skates, shoots, everything he does in practice. You're just like, my God. And you're starting to see it right now. And he obviously has the trust of the coach. You're protecting a 1-goal lead. Who's on the ice with 3 minutes to go? Kasperi Kapanen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's definitely earned the trust here of Chris Knobloch, and that little finish he had too on the empty netter with one hand, he had a little swagger behind it as well. But yeah, I mean, him and Vasily Podkolzin both just being kind of pit bulls on the forecheck, and I mean, the difference is, I guess, Kapanen has a little bit more confidence with the puck on his stick. But again, you throw that guy in after he sat out for what was basically a round and a half, and he looks great. And last night, as much as the offense wasn't there, hey, Victor Arvidsson, like this is a guy who was signed to be a top 6 winger, and now you have a hole in your top 6. Like he was a healthy scratch for however long now, 4 or 5 games. the expectation that he could come in and just be good for 10 days for you, that's not a reach at all. You can go back to the regular season. He had a couple of runs where he was producing and looking like the Victor Arvidsson the Oilers thought they were going to get in free agency. So there's just so many options. Like it's not like, again, in maybe years past where they'd be sitting there going, okay, I hope Evander Kane can step up. And then like, that's the end of the conversation. It's like, oh, well, Kane could step up. Brown could step up. Kapanen looks good. Arvidsson's kicking around. I mean, you could put Jeff Skinner in for a game. I know he was -3 in his only playoff game, but he did pick up an assist. He played good with McDavid at the end of the regular season. Like there's so many options that it's just hard to see a scenario where one of them doesn't find a way to work out for at least a few games to give you a boost.
Yeah, no, that is, it's true. Like Jeff Skinner, I think they're going to go 12-6 tomorrow. I'm like, it's not sold. They could go 11-7. Because it's Hyman and Brown and those guys play a lot of minutes amongst forwards, I think they're going to go 12-6 and say, hey, you know what? If Ekholm only, and I put this in quotations, plays 15 minutes, our other guys can easily play the rest, right? It's not a big deal. Whereas some of the forwards, like we don't want to put that much more on McDavid or Draisaitl. Like why tax them if we don't have to do it that much? So you bring in Skinner as a 12th forward and away you go. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think Jeff Skinner has been the ultimate teammate. The guy's got a great attitude. You know what? Everybody knows his story. He's played over 1,000 regular season games. He got into one playoff game. And the game he got into, the team stunk, right? Like game 1 against LA, they were brutal, right? I know they came back in the third period a bit, but it wasn't a good game. So he'll come in now. And you know what? The thing about Skinner, he gets one chance in the slot. He still could bury it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy who can change a game in kind of a split second. My one counter argument to the idea of doing 12-6 and not 11-7, like I do kind of like the idea of easing Ekholm into it just because he hasn't played hockey in a while. And if you have a chance to maybe run McDavid and Draisaitl a little bit more and crank up their minutes with the dangling carrot of we might have to play you 25, 26 minutes tonight, but we get a week off or 8 days, whatever it is, 6 days off if we win this hockey game. I don't hate the idea of just turning up the minutes for 97 and 29 and saying we are going pedal to the floor and we are finishing the job in Dallas. We're throwing a curveball into their matchup game by putting McDavid or Draisaitl out there with random wingers at different points. I think I would lean the 11-7 approach just because I think there's a couple of benefits in there. But I get what you're saying. Like the idea of putting Jeff Skinner in and him making a difference with one shot on goal because he's an elite level finisher, like that lines up to me. I've always been a fan of put skill guys in your bottom 6 because they can change the outcome on the scoreboard. So either way, I think it's justified for Knobloch. If I was the one making the call, I think I would go 11-7 just to ease Ekholm in and also get the benefit of throwing off Dallas's matchups a little bit.
It's possible. They're going to think through all of it. Either one, I just think like there's something you bring in Ekholm, he got a lot of excitement, right? Like he's jazzed up. Then you bring in Jeff Skinner and he's jazzed up. Like they talked about how when you bring a guy in, that energy for him kind of spreads towards the whole group. So who knows? Maybe they do a double dose of it. We'll see. What about Stuart Skinner, Ty, and his first period again last night? Like he's out-dueled Jake Oettinger now. It's 10 games in the conference final. Skinner's 7-3. He's got a .929 save percentage. He got a 1.85 goals against. Man, ever since he came back, since missing those 6 games and sitting out, he's been lights out for the Oilers.
It's been unbelievable. Like if you had to rank, if they gave out an MVP through 3 rounds of the playoffs, and granted, this conversation should be happening with the asterisk of they finish off this series against the Dallas Stars, but like, is Stuart Skinner not number 2 in your MVP rankings for the Oilers right now? Like I know game 3 was 6-1, but like I don't think they win that game. They don't get the opportunity to go up 6-1 if Stuart Skinner doesn't bail them out a whole bunch of times in the second period. And last night in the first period, as much as there were a couple of opportunities, I think about the Rantanen shot from the middle of the slot where the puck rolled on him and he fired it off the glass. Like there were some moments where Dallas maybe didn't finish all that well, but Skinner with the pad save on the wraparound attempt, the one that ricocheted and then he got his pad on it. Like he's just moving so much more confidently and quickly than he was in that first round against LA, where it looked like his pads were dipped in molasses, right? He was like so slow and couldn't get to a rebound and couldn't get across his crease. And now he looks like a totally different goalie. It's unbelievable. I love seeing it because I think he's a great story. I love listening to his interviews. He's a local guy, obviously. Like the whole story of it is great. If he can keep this going, like he's in the Conn Smythe conversation if the Oilers get to the Stanley Cup final. I think he's been that important. He's been their best player this series.
Well, Nugent Hopkins has been pretty damn good too, which is crazy. So no player in 37 years has had 4 consecutive multi-point games to start the conference final. And it's funny because his play though on the Corey Perry goal, that was an unreal play, poise, patience, everything. But Skinner said he thinks Nugent Hopkins is the best he's ever seen him play right now. And the Vegas in this series, because like a lot of the Oilers, maybe a little slow in the first series, but he's dialed it up. And it's funny, Tyler, because Connor McDavid had 1.68 points per game last year. And everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's unreal. And he was. He's at 1.6 right now. And it's not even close to the same storyline because there's getting so many other huge impacts from other players. And that's why the Oilers, I think, are a legit 100% threat. And you give them to me today, even without Hyman, I'd still pick him to beat Florida.
Oh, I'm picking them to beat Florida. If, again, we get to that point, I'm picking them to beat Florida in 6 games. I think the Matt Tkachuk lingering thing has him sort of really hampered, and who knows how healthy someone like Reinhardt's going to be. I guess we'll see tonight how he looks, but I 100% take this Oilers team to beat them. And yeah, you talked about the McDavid thing, like that 0.08, I guess, is what really sways a lot of people. But you even go back to last night where it's a 2-point game for Connor McDavid, but it was a second assist on that great goal by Nugent, or that great feed by Nugent Hopkins to Perry. And then it was an assist on an empty netter and it was the second empty netter. Like, they haven't had to lean on Connor McDavid, and we haven't had basically since early in the playoffs against the LA Kings. Like, he only has 2 games, and again, only is a hilarious thing to say when you give this stat, but like only 2 games where he's had 3 or more points in these Stanley Cup playoffs. That's very not like Connor McDavid. And what else it tells me, because obviously you've covered him his whole career, I've been watching him his whole career, he's probably due for a run where he gets a whole bunch of 3 and 4 point games. And maybe Connor McDavid, I know it's not how it works, but maybe he's just saving him for the final, right? Maybe we'll get to the Stanley Cup final, and that's when Connor McDavid will just flip the switch and be like, I'm going to go supernova like I do every couple of months, and we'll get a crazy run of him in the Cup final. Because if that happens and the depth keeps going and Nuge is at this level and all these other things we've just talked about, they're unstoppable if Connor McDavid goes on one of those runs.
Ty, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself an awesome day, and we will chat with you next Wednesday.
Yeah, well, I will not chat with you tomorrow on the rundown. I keep forgetting about that.
We already did it today, buddy. It's already out.
We're chilling. All right.
Yeah, day early. There you go. That's Ty, yeah, that's right. If you listen to the rundown, we have a new one. An interesting question. A trade proposal in the rundown of 2 young players who are on the trade targets part. I'll give you a hint. They're not the Oilers, but it's an interesting deal. So you might want to check that out of the DFO rundown later tonight after our show. Hey, we got more people coming in. This is awesome. So big thanks to Billy came in, Scott and John. They're all in first. And we got, I want to make sure that I get this right, because this is fantastic. From Service Master Clean, Ryan and Kara, they're supporting 4 kids for Kids Sport. Thank you very much, Service Master Clean. So that gets us up to 67. 67 out of 97. Do the math, boys and girls. We need 30 more. That's it. That is excellent. So if you want to help out, keep pushing on. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. It's $25 per month for a year, or one-time payment of $300. You get a tax receipt. Want to do it personally, through your company, whatever you like. It's great. Talk to your boss. Say, hey, we want to support some kids. Get them in sports. So we're at 67. We've got 30 to go. 833-401-1440. Quick break, and we'll talk to someone next and give you a first-hand experience of what it's like to be a kid sport.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I think The Weeknd did he just drop an album? I think he might have. Pretty talented dude. Another proud Canadian. I still laugh every time I think of his Super Bowl halftime show, right? And he's walking through the maze of the mirrors. God, it was funny. That was one of the better memes for a while. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. You know what's good stuff? Today on the show. We're helping out Kids Sport, where $25 a month for a year, and you can get a kid in sports. Or you can do a one-time payment of $300. And you know what? I can tell you about it, but it's much better when we get to talk to somebody who is a benefactor and a recipient of the Kids Sport program. And we are joined now by Courtney Weber. Courtney, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Kind of tell us your story. When did Kids Sport start helping you out?
Kids Sport started helping me out when I was about 12, when I first got into playing volleyball. My coaches were the ones that knew about Kids Sport and helped me fill out the application because they could see I wasn't really well supported. I didn't come from a well-off family. So yeah, I was just showing up to practices and worn down runners, but I just love volleyball. As soon as I picked it up, I loved it. And so my coaches helped me fill out that application, and Kids Sports the reason my club fees got subsidized and I got to keep playing. But
Can you explain just the importance of sports and just how much it's really kind of impacted your whole life now, that opportunity to get to play?
yes, sports, there's just so much more than an extracurricular activity. The life that I grew up in poverty, and I had parents that had substance abuse issues, so I wasn't taught life skills like emotional regulation or communication or work ethic. And sports kind of forced me to learn these life skills. Like I had to care about my grades in order to be able to play, obviously.
Yep.
'Cause not around, I think we're just in a society that overlooks these life skills, because it's just a part of our everyday life until you grow up the way I did, where a lot of these things just aren't really valued or shown value.
Okay.
So I was forced to care about my grades, which is sports are the reason why I graduated.
Right.
I learned emotional regulation on the court. Like I had to can't be
Yeah.
swearing at the other team every time they get a point.
Yeah.
um and just the reason I made it to post-secondary too, I have my first degree. I'm about to get my after degree in education to be a teacher. And volleyball is why I made it this far. It's the reason I broke cycles. It taught me commitment and passion. Um, and I got to see the world outside my little poor community I grew up in.
Right.
So I got to meet really amazing people outside my community, or that little community I grew up in. But I got to see the world outside of poverty pretty much because of sports.
Well, I think listening to you, it really gave you hope and opportunity and it opened doors that you probably thought weren't possible.
It really did. So like up this upcoming September, I'm about to go play U Sport for the University of Calgary, which is just when I was a kid. Yeah,
That's
yes.
awesome.
Thank you. I'm really excited, and I 15-year-old me would think I'm so cool right now. Like I just never thought that was even an option when I was a kid. But
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff, and this, I love that. I didn't know that. Dana surprised me. She didn't tell me that you were going, all the way to. So, kids sport was now. Obviously, you had to put in the time and dedication, and your coaches helped you a lot. But kids sport, by supporting you, and our listeners ultimately might get to support the next Courtney Weber, who gives them an opportunity because you never know where you can go. Like it really seems that it gave you so much pride internally. Say like I'm capable of more than what I've seen in my life to this point.
yes, exactly. And just something as simple as, and I've said this before, but being able to afford the same pair of shoes that my teammates are wearing, and I'm not sticking out like a sore thumb, and I'm able to fit in with my teammates and have that little supportive community. I don't know, just being able to fit in, like Kids Sport helped me do that. It was amazing. And Kids Sport changed my life, and they subsidized my club fees and equipment fees every club year. And without Kids Sport, I really don't know if I would have been able to continue playing volleyball, or how I would have made that work.
Courtney Weber joins us. She, of course, is a recipient of Kids Sport today as our Gregor's Giving Gang. Our goal was to have 97 donations, and we're well on our way. We're up over 70 now, and listening to Courtney's story, I think is going to inspire a lot more people to want to help out, because I love hearing the result of it. We can all kind of think, oh, you know what, geez, we're going to make a donation. It's going to help. But now we're actually get to talk to someone who can tell us about it. And I love what you said. It taught you not just to play and fit in, but hey, I got to regulate my emotions. I got to be in control. You know what? And you can be competitive. Did you know you were that competitive before, or did sports kind of teach you about your internal competitiveness that you had?
Sports taught me that. Yeah, I had no idea until I got on the court, and I'm like, wow, I really need to win, or I'm going to lose it. No.
Well, welcome to the club. There's a lot of people like that, right? But you learned to channel how you could channel that. And how did that help you in school? Because I love that angle that you said, like, you couldn't play if you didn't have good marks. And and listening to your background, you maybe never had the guidance from your parents to put that as an important factor of you. Hey, this is something I love, but if you want to do it, then you got to study.
It helped me in the way that I realized and I saw that to break cycles and to get out of poverty, education and sports was going to be my number one tool to be able to do that and create a better life for myself. And I knew just getting a higher education first, it was my main priority. And it was my coaches that taught me that. They said, you're not going to make it far in sports if you don't care about your grades too. You're not going to be able to play university if you don't graduate high school. So that's kind of what helped me there.
What position do you play, Courtney?
I play libero, so I'm the one in the opposite colored jersey.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're like the setter. Fair to say. Was that the libero's called now, or are you more on the defense, like receiving the spikes and stuff?
I'm receiving the spikes. Yeah, I'm the defensive specialist in the back row. Kind of, they call a libero the captain of the back row.
Okay. Now, why'd you gravitate towards that position? Like, were you just good at digs or what?
Yes, I've always been a pretty defensive player. I just read the ball and anticipate very well, but I also have a height deficiency. So I'm 5'4", so I would not be able to make it as a hitter or a spiker in higher level volleyball.
So when you got into at what age, like, when did you think like that, not only getting to university through your grades, but getting to there as a player, when did that become like, was there a coach? Did you look around and say, maybe I could go to university as a player, not just as a student? When did that kind of click?
It clicked when I just have so much passion and love for the game. I never get burnt out from training too much. Like if it was possible for my body to handle it, I would train 7 days a week if recovery wasn't so important. And that's when I knew, because I know the level of training at the university level is quite a lot. And
Right.
A lot of players do get burnt out and need breaks, and which is completely healthy and normal. Whereas I'm kind of the opposite. That's where I channeled all my energy, my entire childhood. It was my safe space away from home. And that, I think that's when I knew I could play higher level volleyball. It was my work ethic and my passion for the game, on top of my skills. But yeah.
Well, Courtney, this is an unbelievable story. I'm going to ask you, for our listeners out there, explain to them why, if they can afford it, they should help out Kid Sport today in our giving gang.
I truly believe sports saved my life. Volleyball saved my life. It's the reason I'm as successful and healthy and who I am today. And I truly think that no child should have to worry about money and should be forced to make that decision to quit a sport that they love. That's such a healthy outlet because they can't afford it. I just don't think that should be on any child's mind. But
well, Courtney, you got to be an inspiration to your family. You mentioned, you broke the cycle. You get out of poverty. Your parents had some substance abuse issues when you're like, how's your family and all this? Like, are you the first person in your family to go to university?
Sorry, you just cut out there for a second.
Are you the first person in your family to go to university?
Yes, I'm a first-generation university student. I actually have a twin sister. Me and her broke the cycle together, so we're both first-generation university students.
Oh, well, that is unbelievable. I hope you're incredibly proud, both of you. Continued success, and thanks so much for sharing your story and how much that Kid Sport helped you get on the path. And then obviously you did a ton of work yourself after that, but you need someone to open the door, and then you barged right through it. So congratulations, Courtney, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
There you go. That is Courtney Weber, recipient from Kid Sport. Unreal. Dana didn't even tell her she's going to university next year. That's a nice little surprise. So that's how you see the difference for your donation. Break the cycle of poverty and just have an opportunity. Right? And not every child's going to have the skill set of Courtney to go to university, but it's like she said, like, I fit in finally. I didn't feel like an outsider. And man, is that a huge step to give someone just hope more than anything else. So if you would like to help out the next Courtney, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. in our eWell inbox. Just text in your name. It's $25 a month for a year or a one-time payment of $300. You get a tax receipt, and you get to know that you're going to impact someone's life significantly, like the impact Courtney. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice, taking flight with the legendary new Dragon Fruit lineup. Introducing the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings today at Booster Juice.
The Sports 1440 update.
Some news from the Oilers as the team announcing Zach Hyman will undergo surgery on an upper body injury and is expected to miss the remainder of the playoffs. On the ice tonight, the Panthers looking to punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup final for the third straight season. From there in Carolina, taking on the Canes, leading 3-1. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. Memorial Cup tonight, host Rimouski taking on Moncton. The winner of this one advancing to the semifinal on Friday against the London Knights. Puck drop set for 5. In the association, the Thunder can wrap up their series with the Timberwolves leading 3-1. Tip off 6:30 from Oklahoma City. And in the majors, Toronto in Texas taking on the Rangers. That gets going just after 6 o'clock. Right now, Pirates beating up on the Diamondbacks 10-0 in the 8th. And in the 7th, the Marlins have a 7-6 lead over the San Diego Padres. Edmonton Steelers in action tonight down at the Expo Center, taking on the 0-3 Brampton Honey Badgers. Tip off of this one set for 7 o'clock. And get tickets at thestingers.ca. And from the Edmonton Elks, they've signed American kicker Braden Narvison and released national kicker Campbell Fair. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, it's another edition of the Business of Sport with longtime NHL player agent Rich Winter. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer Smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Need a golf cart that works as hard as it plays? The golf cart people can help.
They offer a wide selection of new and used models, including Club Car. Whether you're after a lifted cart for the cabin or a sleek ride for the course, they'll help you find the right match. Add accessories or explore ready-to-go
How are you?
options available now. Trusted by Albertans since 1997. The Golf Cart People delivers quality and experience.
In Spruce
Visit
Grove
golfcartpeople.com
is
to find your cart and hit the road or the fairway your way.
It's that time again, Edmonton.
Dig the Schwab in.
Schwab Chev Buick GMC knows that it's playoff season.
Right, Schwabbing now.
But even with some late nights ahead, their boss still has the Schwab team fighting Schwabbing hard to get you into the perfect ride.
That price isn't Schwabbing good enough.
Come score a great deal on your next vehicle with up to $12,000 off 2025 diesel trucks at Schwab Chevrolet Buick GMC in Leduc. Dig the Schwab in.
It's playoff time. Let's go. From pre- and post-game shows to analysis from Kevin, Lowside, and Jason. This is going to be a fun run. For all things hockey, lock it in to Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And man, we got Steve K, Jeff, Mike, Zook, JJ, and Steve are all in again. So that gets us up to 78. We're now into hey, we only need 19 more. Now we could get to 100 maybe, but our goal was 97. So we never want to. You don't want to be short of the goal. So we want to get to 97. It's good karma, Order fans. For Kids Sport, we just heard from Courtney, who is an unbelievable success story from Kids Sport. Was in poverty. You know, she mentioned her parents had substance abuse, and she just wasn't on necessarily the right path. And Kids Sport got her into volleyball and taught her some self-discipline, some emotional regulation. Then with the help of her coaches, it's like, hey, if you want to keep playing, you got to have good marks in school. And now she got accepted. She's getting her second degree, and now she's going to the University of Calgary to play university volleyball. That's amazing story. It's amazing. And it's just, you heard her in her own words about the success for herself. So that's what you're going to help today. So we got 19 more. Let's go. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Just text in with your name. It's $25 a month or a total for a year, or one payment of $300. It's your choice. You get a tax receipt. We'll get some updates for you on the year, and you're part of our Gregor's Giving Gang. So thanks very much to everybody. If you want in, let's keep it going. 833-401-1440. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, you can get in the game. It's Lotto 649. Get your tickets tonight at PlayAlberta.ca. Now, we welcome back to the show as we get to Wednesday afternoon, and that means the business of sport. Rich Winter joins us. Rich, how you doing?
Well, disappointed to follow the legendary Booster Juice thing that's coming out.
Yeah.
Just I thought I was going to be the longtime agent, but really good. And actually, quick comment on what you talked about that young woman. I played volleyball. I'm a former member of the University of Calgary Dinosaurs volleyball team. And
whoa, really?
Yeah, very excited to see that. Jeez. Didn't know anything about her, but I also think it ties in well. Dominic Hasek, a number of years ago, I convinced him to set up an intercity hockey program.
Okay.
Basically for kids that couldn't afford laces. And at first he was sort of like, I don't know what it looks like. And then he'd see the kids getting better. And I remember the last year when he was in Detroit, he came to practice and he's all lit up. He said, my guys beat a real team. They beat a real team. And I'm like, couldn't place what he was saying right away. And his inner city hockey team was in a regular tournament and they won a game.
Okay.
That was exciting. And then like this young woman you mentioned last year, actually it was just a few months ago, we're together and he said, Rich, our first college student made it out of the inner city through the program. So
Yeah.
this stuff is really important, and it does teach kids skill, and it leads in kind of nicely to what we're seeing on the ice, that culture, teamwork, teammate love and respect that they have for each other leads to some big things. And I don't know, winning a Stanley Cup is bigger than getting to the University of Calgary and getting a degree for a young woman like this, but they'll both be in the same ballpark.
Yeah. So that's well, hey, if Rich Winter can play volleyball at the university, I didn't even know you were a volleyball player, Rich. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what position were you?
I was a middle blocker and a defensive specialist. So I went in for those short periods of time. I wasn't the best player, but I always remember I only played volleyball 1 year in high school, and everybody else had played like 9 years by the time they got there. I was brought into the coach's office, and he advised me very candidly that of the 3 players he had to make a decision on for the last spot, I was by far the worst player. So I thought, that's not going very well. But he said, you know what? You've made the team because you work so hard. You're going to get better. Now, I didn't really get better, and I had this argument with my coach, Brad Kilb, when I had a visit with him a couple of months ago, and he said, no, you earned it. I go, Brad, I wasn't that good, but I guarantee, I mean, I played in Israel in a world, in a world tournament in the Israeli Student Games, had a wonderful experience, met some incredible people. So I don't know, I guess work ethic got me on the team, and I just couldn't maintain it. I played very little, but I was on the team.
But you had fun?
Oh, I had a blast. My 36-inch vertical was very helpful. I just didn't have the rest of the package.
Now, your guys represent Zach Hyman. As an agent, I know because you obviously represent players on different organizations. So, you root for individuals, not necessarily the team per se. Kind of walk us through, when a players that you have, right, gets in your firm gets hurt. Is it like instant that you're contacting them? Do you go through the spouse? How does the agent work in that? Because, obviously it can be, depending on the severity of an injury, like in this case, right? It's an upper body injury. I think we all know it's a wrist injury. To what extent, who knows? But do you wait hours? Do you contact? How does it work?
Well, it depends. Like often we're not watching the game, right? So, if in this particular case I was, and, Zach left really quickly, and I didn't reach out right away because I thought, nobody's going to know immediately. I gave it about an hour, and I text Bill Scott, and he got back to me with the news, right? So that's the way it happens. But if I'm watching a game, it's my mantra or my approach would generally be to reach out and just check it out. Especially if it looks serious. When a guy goes in the dressing room, you don't react immediately. But when the way he went off the ice, you just thought and you don't want to panic, because ultimately sometimes a situation like that creates a lot of pain, but not necessarily a lot of injury, right? You never know. Some guy just got a thumb jammed and it hurt like crazy, and it wasn't that bad. Zach seemed to know right away, and unfortunately it looks like he was right.
Yeah. So, and that's a big blow. I got to just, you work really hard. You're having a great playoffs. You're a big contributor to the team. And, hey, your team wins, you're super excited. But if he doesn't get to play in the Stanley Cup final, man, that's just, it's going to be a blow emotionally. No question about it.
Well, I think it will be a blow emotionally until they win. And then it'll just blow them over. Yeah. Right. Like at the end of the day, and I had this discussion with Calvin yesterday, I guess. And, he's really excited about, his contributions to this particular, year with the Oilers. He wants to play. Yeah, he would like to play every single game going forward. But like he said, I don't care if we win. I don't care. Like, I mean, at this point of the year, winning is so high a priority compared to everything else. All those other things, I'd like to contribute a little bit more. They become secondary. I'm sure Zach, I mean, I haven't talked to him in detail. I text him a little bit and back and forth. And what are you going to say, right? It's like Godspeed. It's terrible. But if he'll be in that room, he'll be cheering for them to win. He'll be contributing any way he can. And just his presence will be part of hopefully the momentum that takes him to where the promised land, which they're trying to head. And he'll get through it. But if they win, he'll save that cast, and I'm sure it will be just part of the journey. He wants those guys. They love each other. That's one of the most incredible rooms in the league, from what I've been told by players that play there. And you can start to see it in those 2-on-2 interviews that they're doing after games. And, they really, really love each other in that room.
Yeah.
They're playing for each other. And I think Calvin recognizes Calvin's, he's a great guy and everybody knows that. So when he goes in, could they have survived that series without Calvin? Probably not. Probably the combination of Stu wasn't playing great. Calvin was ready, played well. And were they playing harder for them? That fifth game, it looked like they were playing the table that tipped to the LA end, and they couldn't get out of it. But he did what he needed to do. He did the job you'd expect of a backup, and I don't know that he's hoping to get back in, because if he does, that might mean it's a bit of a problem, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's hey, you need good. Like, the funny thing is, in the regular season, both your goalies are there. They help you win. So for both goalies to play in the playoffs isn't a real shock to me. And Pickard came in, he did his job, and now Stuart Skinner's come in and he's playing outstanding. And that's what you want, right? You just want, I don't care. Kapanen comes in for Arvidsson. Right. He plays great, scores an overtime winner. And now Arvidsson comes back in last night. Connor Brown's hurt. He plays very well. And Jeff Skinner might get his second ever playoff game tomorrow night. And I got to think he's going to be bouncing off the walls, ready to go.
Yeah, and Ekholm might be back in a game or two. And at the end of the day, I mean, we hope Corey Perry. I'm sure Zach is pulling for Corey Perry as hard as anybody else. He comes in. I thought he played extremely well last night.
Yeah.
If you can get him, he doesn't motor on that fast anymore. But you get him in around that blue paint, he's really effective. And if he can play at the top of his game, and he looks possessed too, I think these guys will get there. And I think it's going to be interesting. It's this next game is going to be important, but are they playing for Zach? Are they playing for Calvin? At particular times, I think they're playing for one or the other or all of each other. I have this theory that there's a feeling. It's not anything anybody's ever told me. I just can see it. It's almost like Connor McDavid is sucked them all into a vortex behind him, because they are as passionate to help him get the cup as he wants to get it. Because everybody knows in this game that if you don't win a Stanley Cup as a great player, you're not considered among the greats. And I think everybody knows that. I think they realize this is a good team. This is the right time. And hopefully that kind of energy will carry them where they want to go. But, it's going to require people to step up. But how many times have people, stepped up and made championship teams what they are? I mean, nobody thought we had any depth, but it looks like we do.
Yeah. Well, the Oilers' depth has been unbelievable. We'll take a break, and I want to talk, because you have players all around the league, and we're going to talk about culture in sports and the importance of it and how it builds, because you've had players who will come out and be honest, man, I come to this new team and this is unbelievable. And the differences you have and what makes a good culture, having been in the business for as long as you have, middle, not long-term, just middle-term agent. That's what I'll call you now. Like a middle-term, not long-term.
Yeah, I've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people I grew up in Drumheller, and I'm not yet a dinosaur.
Yeah. So
I'm
more than 10, less than 100 years as an agent.
Yeah. It's
okay. That's
close. Good news. It's closer to 10.
Barely. Let's take a quick break on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's AquaCentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The big one is here at the Bridge. big deals, and even bigger savings. Score up to 25% off sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Up to 25% off TV stands, wall units, and fireplaces. Save 50% on beds when you buy 3 matching bedroom pieces. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 major kitchen appliances. Finally, start sleeping better when you save up to 50% off select mattresses. These big deals won't last long. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.420, the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in our lovely province at PlayAlberta.ca. Wazzy and Karen are in. We're up to 80. 17 away. Let's keep it going, boys and girls. We got a good stretch run going. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. You can text us and just put in your name. It's $25 a month or a one-time payment of $300. And that gets you a year where you will get a kid involved through kid sport, getting into sport. And if you heard Courtney in the last hour, it changed her life. She grew up in poverty. Her parents had substance abuse issues. She wasn't having the best support system. She got into sports. Kid sport helped her play, took care of their fees. She ended up having like a decent pair of shoes to play. And fast forward 10 years later, and she got a scholarship to go play volleyball at the University of Calgary. All because she got a chance at 12 years of age to play sport through kid sport. It's an amazing story. And honestly, that's the difference you can make. Just give someone an opportunity. And sports taught her how, in her words, how to control her emotions. It also taught her discipline because her coaches said, hey, if you want to be good in sport, you got to do good in school. It's non-negotiable. Yeah. And then she got in school. So it's a massive, and it's $25 a month. You'll put it on your visa. You're probably not even going to know us. Hey, it's like a few less Booster Juice a month. And you know what? I know Dale at Booster Juice would be no problem if you took off a few Booster Juice, and that means the kid's playing kid sport. So there you go. 833-401-1440.
Won't put him under.
Yeah, no. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. Yeah, he's Dale's still licking his wounds though. That Vegas loss a little tough on him. So, but he's all right. He's happy for Edmonton, of course. Now, Rich Winter joins us in the business of sports, and the word culture gets thrown around a lot in sports, and some people, because it's hard to define, right? It's hard sometimes when you say the word culture. What does that really mean? There's a lot more to it. You've had a lot of different clients over the years. You have a lot of current active clients, and you're saying how, Edmonton right now, like what do you find from the players you've talked to? Like, who is the architect of an organization's culture?
Well, it has to come from either the leadership group, one of them at least, or the coach generally, but quite often it's a team-wide thing. And it's interesting to listen to Paul Maurice's comments a while ago. He talked about when he first took out the job, and a lot of coaches will call all the players and check in. And he was constantly surprised about how he would hear, oh man, you wait till you talk to so-and-so. Like, you're going to love that guy. And it seemed throughout the course of most of the discussions, all they could talk about was their teammates. And it became very clear to Paul that the culture was really strong there. Now, sometimes it's an individual player. Here it seems to be a group and no one in particular. I think Calvin Picker is a big part of that room in a different way. He plays a very supportive role for Stu. Because Stu's had some challenges, and have a supportive teammate like that. And you see, Draisaitl, who I don't know well, his dry humor keeps them going. And, even I think Kane's antics at times, somehow it can't be measured, but it can be developed, and it usually develops out of the affection players have for each other. And that usually grows mostly from the coach.
What about from an organizational standpoint, how they treat their players? How much does that play a role, do you find? Because today, hey, for the most part, there are lots of millionaire guys, even, 775 for the guys on the bottom end. Like, you're living a pretty good life, right? But there are little things that I don't care if you make $100, you make $100,000, you make $1 million. When you feel like you're treated well, it matters more. What are the things that organize it? I guess maybe, Rich, give us an example of things that organizations do well, and then things organizations don't do well that hurt them from building a good culture.
I think it's just the little things and showing, players are the people. And if you treat their wives and their parents and their children well, that gets you huge money. I remember negotiating Robert Svela's last contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He didn't really want to play there, but he's a family guy, loves his wife, Ludmilla. She loves horses. So Bill Waters and I, who's the assistant GM at the time, we're talking about, he doesn't want to come back. He wants to retire. He loved Florida. Bobo was one of these guys that, he looks at a donut, he gains 15 pounds. He had trouble keeping his weight down. It was really challenging. I think he just got tired of it, right? So they said, so Bill Waters came up with the idea, well, what if we gave his wife an equestrian membership here? There's a great club, or whatever they call those things. I'm not a horse guy. And then he said, well, what about
stable?
Yeah. Well, and then she'll get, and we'll bring her horse up. He says, is there anything else that's interesting? He's really passionate about doing something for his hometown club. He loves his club in Dukla, the Army team in Trenchant. He said, Bill, he said, Rich, what if we gave him enough to buy the club? I go, well, I don't even, we could, let me talk to him and see. So I got on the phone with Robert and I said, they really want you to feel comfortable. They would like Ludmilla to bring her horse up. They've got her into a stable where she's going to have a really well taken care of, good people around. She'll enjoy them. And they're interested. I mentioned to them that you and I talked about the idea of you getting involved in your club when you retire. They're willing to advance you up to $1 million to buy your club. It just changed the dynamics of team was getting into the life of a player. And they can do that in multiple ways. Greg Popovich was the best. He had so much, I don't know if he was the best, but he was very good at it. He would do so much research. He would know when your anniversary was. He would know what type of food you like. Players consistently would find a nice bottle of wine collected from his private collection, sitting in their locker room or in their stall with a gift certificate to take his lovely wife for dinner. And he would go so far to arrange sitters at times. That's what builds a culture. Love builds a culture, right? Taking care of people builds a culture. And some people don't get that. I'll tell a story that I don't know if Ken Holland will mind me telling it. I talked to him he's just on his way back from New York after those discussions with the Islanders. And I was talking to him about culture, and I don't know how culture came up when he's sitting in an airport in Vancouver. We started talking to him, and he told me his story. And again, I hope he doesn't mind. He texted Connor when he got his 1,000th point.
Yeah.
And Ken was like, yeah, he got right back to me, which I thought was kind of funny. Of course he's going to get back to you, Ken. And he said, we were talking about culture, and he said, he thanked me for the culture change I created in Edmonton. I don't really know how I did that. And I know how he did it. You've been around Ken.
Yeah.
He has a million stories. And not only those stories, but the minute he showed up, there's somebody in the organization with lots of cups. And that credibility changed everything. And then I heard the other day from another player, about how, and we all know Stan. Stan's kind of understated. He's quiet. He's to himself. And this player was talking about, like, when Ken was here, man, it was like he's coming in, he's flailing his arms, he tells those stories, and he's got this, that, and the other. He's sitting down with players, and, he's talking about the game and their lives and family. That's what creates culture. What you want to live in an environment where people like each other, and it sets the tone. So I would say, more than anything, I find it shocking, for example, like if I'm running a team, there isn't a player or their family that's at least the core part of our team that I haven't had for dinner, haven't had over to my home, haven't spent time with. Because when you know the family intimately, you can relate to them and build that relationship. And if they see that happening at the top, it gets emulated. And I'll tell this story about Ken, which he will definitely not mind. So a culture is created by a guy like Ken who does care about their players, right? It's not words, it's actions. A lot of people don't know, but Kenny and I we go to our favorite spot in Edmonton for a little visit at Tim Hortons for black tea for Ken and herbal tea for me. And we were chatting, and he was talking at the time. He said he was, I just wanted me to know, Kenny, I just want you to know that I think that maybe we're going to call up Campbell because, we got to see what we have there, man. We wasted a lot of money in that. I said, but, he said, but I'm trying not to do it because it'll tighten us up cap wise. And I'd really like to make sure Adam Ernie is with his 3 children for Christmas. I don't want him down there. He came here. He made the team. It's not, he hasn't been given an opportunity. It's not fair that he is where he is. So Ken, now I said, you're not going to do that anyway, because Calvin's going to play so well. It's going to make it easier. So thank goodness Calvin played well enough, but he was prepared to alter and play with his cap to allow a young father to be with his 3 children for Christmas. Yeah. That's a culture. And it's really, it's indefinable, except, when they say, I love playing there. And so what's destructive is when I don't really know what he thinks. I walk down the hall and he never says hi. Like,
you know what's funny? You say that was Peter Chiarelli. Peter Chiarelli didn't say hi to some of his own staff members. He would walk down the hallway like it is the most simple thing you can do when you're walking in a building. I don't care if it's a media person, some of your own staff. They're a human being. You acknowledge. I walk down the street. I always say hi when I'm walking dogs because it's a human being that's walking me. Say, hey, I don't necessarily want to talk to you, but I'm just acknowledging your presence is how I do it. That's just me. And I saw that with Chiarelli, right? And it was mind-blowing to me. And the thing about, and I said this for people, no GM does every move right, but Ken Holland, if the Oilers win the cup, had a big impact because he brought in Zach Hyman, and he brought in Evander Kane, and he brought in Brett Kulak, and we could go down the list, Calvin Pickard, of other guys that he brought in. But I think when Ken says he doesn't really know what he did it by making it much more open and communicative. And that, I think, automatically lowers a stress level in a highly stressful situation.
Well, and I think it's being authentic too, right? Like Ken's just who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you can catch him. He'll stop and talk to a fan for 20 minutes. He's very much like Scotty Bowman. Scotty will just talk your ear off forever. And he has story after story. I mean, it's exciting to sit at a pregame practice with Scotty. And it's like you got to get a good man or woman at the helm of your team. And then if they act authentic to those values, like Dennis Rodman couldn't play anywhere before he got to Chicago. He has problems everywhere. He's a good player. He's a problem everywhere, right?
Well, he'd be pretty good in Detroit, though, right?
But
with Chuck Daly.
Yeah, he wasn't bad, but he was just somebody no one really wanted by the time he got to Chicago. But Phil Jackson treats his players actually like a family. So we all have talked about this before. If my kids misperform, your kids misbehave, we don't trade them.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing something we really don't like. We don't send them to the minors. We love them, so we work through it. So what does Phil Jackson do when Dennis Rodman comes to Chicago? First, he talks to Michael and Scotty, and he says, look, here's a young man who's had lots of struggles in his life. And these young men who've been abused and had been in tough situations.
Kicked out of his own home. Like when you read about Dennis's backstory.
So they lash out because they can't believe that anybody actually loves them. So they push the envelope just because they want to see if it's true. So Phil Jackson sends him to treatment in Dallas for I think it was his knee. And the treatment center calls and Dennis didn't show up. Well, if he's in the NHL, he probably gets suspended and, all kinds of havoc happens after that. But Phil calls and says, every family member is different. Every teammate's different. So he says, Dennis, And of course, he takes Phil's call because by that time he knows Phil has his back a little bit. He does care about him. He says, Dennis, what are you doing? Well, I'm in Vegas. And he says, well, what do you need? What are you thinking? He said, well, I'm just wound up. I just think if I have 2 or 3 days here, I'll feel better. I'll get to Dallas. So what day would you like to go, Dennis? Now, does it really matter if he makes it in 48 hours or 72? It doesn't matter long term. So he says, Dennis is Dennis. So he says, okay, you promised me to be there Monday, whatever the day was. Yep. And he goes there. But that's a coach that knows enough about a player. He treated him like an adopted child. You dropped an 8-year-old from wherever in the world. You're going to do the research. What were his parents like? What were his living conditions? Does he have any schooling issues, right? Coach Jackson did all of those things, and everybody sees it. You don't think the people in the Oilers room saw Adam Ernie in a situation that once he was able to spend time with his children, that the general manager was looking out for our families?
Yeah.
And I said, Ken, you don't realize what you did. You know what you just did? You showed up.
Yeah.
And you showed up with a heart. And when you show up with a heart, and you see it, like in, you heard it, in the discussions that Coach or Paul Maurice had with the players, you can see it. They're playing for each other, and they're playing with their hearts out, and everybody's playing. Like, I don't know what, like I said this to you earlier, I said, I don't know what happened at third or fourth line. I don't know who's in those uniforms, but for the Oilers, but man, they're all playing for each other, and it's like an intensity that's created from the love they have for each other. They don't want to let anybody down. And maybe it's the captain driving it, because they want it for him. Maybe they just see the heart and drive in some of the other players, or they see a guy like Calvin coming in and going 6-0, and they don't want to let him down because they care about each other. And that's an environment like they had with the Patriots, where you can absorb, an individual problem case. In Chicago, they had a pretty good culture. Michael made it challenging at times, but they had a pretty good culture, and they were able to absorb Dennis Rodman, and it gets them 2 extra championships. Now, if this is the place that people know you're treated with respect more than anything, you get the odd free agent, and they've done a very good job here. And I think Ken is really responsible and deserves the credit for that.
Rich Winter joins us at 833-401-1440. You can text in any questions. We're talking about culture now. The Oilers have a good one. Same, Bill Zito came into Florida.
Yeah.
I know you got clients there, and it's the same thing. Like, because people, they got this big advantage, no state tax. I'm like, oh, really? Did the no state tax just magically appear?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's been there for decades, and no one was in Florida.
Right.
The weather hasn't changed in Florida. Right. What changed was
not according to climate, guys. Apparently, there's 7,000 more hurricanes every year.
Well,
not true.
Bill Zito came in.
Yep.
And he made some really good GM moves. Like, look at the trades he made: Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk. Right. Like, he made some big moves.
Yeah.
Right. But there are other things in that organization that they've done that's allowed them now. They're 1 win away from their 3rd consecutive trip to the fall.
Well, like Bill and I have chatted about this before, and he says, Rich, you work in this business. You know how terrible these people are at really understanding the value of the people that they're working with. We made some changes, we did some things, but it's not that hard, because people aren't really, like, it's mind-boggling to think that, okay, like, I care about, I see what my wife does when my grandchildren show up, right? She's got beds in our bed so they can sleep with us. They got special pillows. She taking care of them. But these hockey players, they go on the road, and what do they need more than anything else to regenerate after a game? Sleep. So they get into the Ritz-Carlton, which is one of the worst places in the world if you're a side sleeper to sleep, because they got these soft, billowy pillows that squash right down to the mattress when you put, and so we don't even take the time to get the pillows that the players have from home, put them in a duffel bag, give them to the team service guy, make sure they're in every room, make sure that we've studied what they need after a game based on the nutritional requirements identified by the doctors. Do they need hydrated? Do they need something else there? Do they have trouble sleeping, and what could help them sleep? Do they need a little bit of a, whether it's some kind of a liquid, hot chocolate, or whatever they need? Like, if you do those little things, like, you come to a team, and that no team in the league that I'm aware of, lots of baseball teams, lots of basketball teams, all travel with their players' pillows. When you do those little things, they get noticed. Because why would you do those? in my mind, you do it because you care about me.
Right.
And you know what? I don't want to leave because, man, these guys care about me. And then when Connor cares about me as my captain, now I'll tell you a great story that I think was phenomenal. I have a young player, Joe Blandis. He's played, about 100 games in the NHL. Good player, up and down. So when he goes to Pittsburgh, he gets traded to Pittsburgh. Who do you think picks him up at the airport?
Well, one of the best players, I would think.
Sid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I know Joe Thornton, like when Vander Kane had all the issues, Vander Kane talked about how Joe Thornton picked him up, and it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And Joe Thornton picked him up.
You're going like, wow.
And it's funny, when Joe Thornton left San Jose, their room got fractured. They literally had kind of 2 groups, and that completely fractured their room. Like, it's when you have a big personality and somebody who everybody respects, when they leave, it can become a mess. And I think an organization has...
I was thinking of Messier when I said mess, yeah.
Well, you have to be aware of that. And it's hard, but if we're getting rid of our leader, like I know in Edmonton, when Duncan Keith came in, Connor McDavid, they raved about what Duncan Keith did. Like Evan Bouchard, who does not say a lot. You get him to talk about it to Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith came in just very calm. He's not a huge talker.
No, doesn't say much.
But he would just, in a very calm demeanor, because a lot of those guys had never, they'd lost to Chicago.
Right.
They'd lost to Winnipeg. Now they'd beaten San Jose in their second year, but that was 5 years earlier. And they hadn't had any success since then, right? So they were, I think, searching for it. But Keith came in, played good minutes, had a much bigger impact than some people want to think based on what they thought his analytics said.
Yeah.
Right? Because that doesn't tell you everything. It's one aspect.
Doesn't tell you much, actually.
And Bouchard learned a lot from him on how to be simple thing. Evan Bouchard he said, just stay on your side of the ice. It was so funny and so simple. He just said, stay on your half of the ice.
But when Duncan Keith says it, you go,
yeah, you're like, okay, well.
Probably he's heard that 50 times.
Maybe.
But Duncan Keith said it.
Yes. But he also talked about things in the room. And then now Corey Perry comes in. Also, McDavid and Draisaitl have gone through through all the trials and tribulations. So that helps them. But there is something about experience that, but you've got to get an experienced guy who still plays enough of a role, because it's hard to be the talker if you can never be the walker.
Well, the issue, I don't know if that's entirely true, but it certainly helps. But the basic question you asked is, how do you create the culture? Now, what if you don't have a Joe Thornton or a Mark Giordano or a Sidney Crosby? Now, what do you do? Well, you know what? These are among the easiest skills, if not the easiest skills in sport to teach. There's people out there like Michael Gervais that has worked with Steve Kerr and Pete Carroll and 8 MVPs in the league. Alex Honnold that climbed, the solo climber that climbed rocks without ropes and stuff. You can teach these things. So what you do, if you're smart, you bring someone in to teach culture. Like, I think the problem is Toronto is not necessarily players. It's culture.
Yes, 100%.
So now, who expects? Okay, so we don't know what environment Austin Matthews grew up. Seems like a nice family from what I've heard, but who's his mentor? Who's his leader? Who did he play with that taught him? No, why do we expect coaches in the NHL who were maybe minor league players, had a little bit of luck with a couple of good teams, end up in the NHL? What do they know about high-level leadership? And when Satya Nadella took over Microsoft, it was living off of and milking Windows. It was a cash cow with a great sales team and no innovation. He wanted to change the culture. And he says in his book, it's foundational to the success he had turning it into the most valuable company in the world. They'd missed everything, cellular, they missed AI, they missed cloud computing. So what did he do, Jason? Who did he hire? He hired the Seattle Seahawks high-performance psychologist, good friend of mine, Michael Gervais.
Oh, okay.
Now, he did it because he was aware of it, and Michael helped Satya turn that around. And what he did was fascinating, because it was a sort of macro version of what he would do in a hockey team. He said, Satya, give me 500 of your coolest, smartest, most interesting people, and let me have them for 3 or 4 days. I will teach them the skills. They'll manage the transformation. I can't do it here. I have a team that can come in and be part of that. And so what you do is, what you'd want to do is, you'd hire Mike, you hired his team, you'd hire someone like him, and there's not many as good as Mike, and you'd bring him in, and you'd spend $1 million over the course of the year teaching your staff how to create and maintain culture, right? Like, you bring in like these are people that don't even calibrate sticks. So there's no surprise in general. There's a huge opportunity for NHL teams, many other pro sports teams that are willing to look at the game from a scientific perspective. Like I learned this week, as I told you, the most destructive thing NHL players could do is have a pregame nap in terms of their recovery.
Yeah, see, we got to take a break, and I want to come back and talk about that because that's fascinating to me. Jason Gregor, Rich Winter with you on Sports 1440. Big shout out to Easy Chill Rentals. They're in for 2 kids, also Manny. So we're up to 83 now. We're getting really close. We're at the Alishemsky. We got to get to McDavid. Okay, we got 14 left. 14 kids for Kid Sports. Fantastic day today. Good karma for Oiler fans. If you missed it, we had a Kid Sport recipient on earlier. She was excellent. Came out of poverty. Kid Sport helped her just get into sports. And she's now going to Rich's former University of Calgary on a scholarship in volleyball, which is outstanding. So Courtney Weber, awesome stuff. So if you want to help out, it's $25 a month or a one-time payment of $300 for the year to get a kid into sport. Our goal is 97 today, Oiler fans. It's good karma. We're at 83. Be the one to get us over. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Just text in with your name. If you want to do one, it's $25 a month. If you want to do more, awesome. Let us know on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower, plus the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the Car Wash Pros.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Oodle noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Spring cleanup is a breeze with the Lawnmower Hospital and BCS Market Garden Equipment. Winter left a mess, and the Lawnmower Hospital brings you solution. From BCS tillers and rotary plows to power harrows and two-wheel garden tractors that go places a traditional tractor wouldn't dare. You'll find everything BCS at the Lawnmower Hospital, including attachments, accessories, hitches, wheels, and tires, plus more. See lawnmowerhospital.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Mr. 305, go ride a lunch money. 3 Miami boy.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.448. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you on Sports 1440. Of course, Rich Winter is here. It's the business of sports. And hey, it's today we're in the business also of helping out kids sport. Roger is in. Also David. So we're up to 85. We are 12 left to get to our goal of 97. Pretty good karma order, fans. 97. 12 more. Hey, that means a 4-1 victory over the Dallas Stars. Never hurts a bad thing to put out good stuff in the atmosphere if you're a believer in that sort of thing. So you're going to help out a kid. It's $25 a month or a one-time donation of $300 for the year, and that'll get a kid into to kids sport. And they have like over 50 different sports that they're involved in. It's fantastic. So it's awesome. So we want to get there. Also, Lauren just came in. Now we're up to 86 boys and girls, so 11 left. That's awesome. Now, Rich, you said something fascinating. Because the pregame nap has been something that people talked about forever. Now, I can tell you, when I nap on a Saturday, I love it. I love naps. It's the one thing I said, when I retire, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be a prime napper. Like, I'm going to nap all the time. Now, older people, probably because of age, they function better with naps. That's been proven. But why is it for young athletes, you just learned that the nap necessarily isn't great?
Yeah, a Finnish sleep expert came into one NHL team, and I was talking to the general manager about it. And to his credit, he was trying to figure out how sleep patterns could help and affect his team.
Okay.
And the early part of sleep, that deep sleep, is where you get a lot of regeneration of your body. Now, apparently, they started studying the impact sleep was having on their players, and they found that by having a deep, I think a nap's a good thing, but it doesn't have to be more than 20, 30 minutes, right? You get these guys sleeping for 2 hours plus on the afternoon. They've used up their deep sleep for the foreseeable future, which would be the next 20 hours. So then they go to bed, then they come back after the game. They're wired, which is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
And they've had their deep sleep. Now they can't go to sleep.
Right.
And when they get to sleep, there's no more deep sleep to help with recovery. So it's something that was really interesting to me. I mean,
that'd be a big change, wouldn't it? Because it's a routine that a lot of them have had since junior.
Yeah, but they're still using the stick that they had, they used in junior. We had that conversation a few shows ago. And, I used to answer the phone like this, Jason, right?
Yeah.
And some guy said, oh, I'm going to make this thing. I'm going to watch TV on it, listen to music on it. Just because we've always done it this way isn't mean it's the right way. There is so much science coming right now.
We could go back to the phone your way, because having the computer isn't actually better. But anyway.
No, it's a challenge. But at the end of the day, what was better for the guy's company that he created it.
Sure, yes.
But ultimately, there's just a lot of things that we've done that were tradition bound that have never been tested. And hockey's not a place where you're going to test them because there's not a lot of money to test them. Sleep experts aren't generally flying in from Finland to help a general manager assess the sleep problems. He's probably doing it for some major corporation that's doing technology work in Finland because their staff is working 24/7 and they're burning out. So, because that's where the money is. That's where his $500,000 or $1 million contract is. There's so much that could be done to improve the health, welfare, and safety of these players. Like, I was talking to a guy last week. How about this? They're creating quantum sensors that could be, in his mind, inserted in a helmet and measure at a neurological level the impact every hit is having on every player's head, send real-time transmission to the medical staff to alert them to the problems. Because as we know, concussions aren't always that big traumatic event.
No, it's
in fact sometimes
second or third impact. Yes.
Yeah, and it might be 10 impacts. So can you imagine if you could take these quantum sensors, install them in the helmet, we might be able to prevent CTE. Now, why aren't we studying that? Well, the reason we're not studying it, for the most part, we're all a bunch of athletes, right? Working in a sport, and the agent side of the business, we don't have the revenue to justify making this expenditure. Teams do, but they're not thinking about it, right? So there is so much science coming that can change the dynamics of our lives.
Yeah.
Sure. But more importantly, and think about it, like here's the business of sport. Identify undervalued assets, right? They give you $7, 7 tokens to buy stuff at the draft every year. It doesn't cost you anything. They give you freebies.
Right.
Now you can acquire them for that way. You can acquire them through free agency, but you always want them to be undervalued. Things I've been mining through this AI studies I've been doing, that they can identify them more clearly instead of getting, drafting core players that they need to win Stanley Cups at a rate of 12.2%. You could easily double or triple that. Now, once you get them, let's figure out how do they get them playing at peak for a longer period of time. And there's a lot of science developing around that. Now, if you draft better, improve the quality of your players better, it's just a financial management company. It's just, you got your assets. So what does Berkshire Hathaway do? They go out and buy undervalued assets, good management. So you get undervalued assets, a team to develop those assets, and then you flip them, ideally just before they drop because maybe some of the management left. And I just don't understand why our business, like you could be a perennial Stanley Cup champion by drafting 10% more players in that core category. 10%. Like what other industry says, so how are you doing on that part of the business? Well, we're hitting it out of the park. We did 12.4% this year. Like who would accept that? Well, you know why we accept it? Because they say, well, Jason, we did as well as anybody else.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the game. Because if Connor McDavid had approached playing this game of hockey as well as everybody else, we wouldn't be there. But I heard a great saying yesterday from a player. He says, Paul Coffey says this. I think this is true about management. He says, they were talking about how the elite players will just work at things and focus on little things and keep working at them. And Paul apparently told this player, he said, average players in the NHL, you know what they want? They won't be left alone.
Yeah.
They don't really want to do anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good portion of management because they don't understand it. They haven't been trained in it. I get it. I don't do brain surgery. I don't do heart surgery. I mean, I'd be terrified. I thought of having to deliver a baby in the backseat of a taxi would, give me all kinds of problems. But at the end of the day, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to approach and manage these things because somebody's going to figure this out and you will never catch them. And you know who's most likely to be in this league? A big guy like Bill Zito.
Yeah.
Because agents have seen everything. We have seen other teams. We know what everybody's doing. Like, if you're a first-time general manager, what is Matthew Darch? I like Matthew a lot. He's a very bright guy, very personable, but he's now thrust into a role that he's got to figure out how to draft well, understand and determine the biases his scouts are that are preventing them from drafting better. He's got to make some trades. He's got to figure out where his desk is. Like these aren't organizations that should be run by 2 or 3 hockey guys anymore. It's really, if you learned anything from the Moneyball model, it wasn't transformative that they measured their business because the corner grocery store is measuring their business.
100%.
It was transformative because no one else was measuring the business. But what was really important is they started realizing if we're going to do this at a higher level and be more competitive, we got to go to Princeton. We got to go to Harvard.
Right.
We got to find the brightest minds. We got to go to AI. Guys, why isn't it? It's not surprising to anybody that a lot of the technology that drove baseball forward was germinated in Boston, where there's MIT, Harvard, right?
Yeah.
It's just sports were so far in the dark ages, and I think it's unfair because if we applied these quantum sensors to helmets and prevented CTE, we could keep fathers with their families longer. If we could get more AI applied to generate more revenue, the players at the bottom of the heap would make enough money that they could live more comfortably for the rest of their lives. If we could, it's even as crazy. We've talked about this on the show before. I took Colin Wilson, who produced Avatar, to a game. He hit me on the shoulder and said, "What's wrong with you guys? This is the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life. And you're shooting with a camera on a 4-story balcony. You think anybody on a digital device can get what I'm seeing?" And we all hear that, right?
Yeah.
Game live. It's amazing. We got the best product and we decided to dumb it down so no one else who's not a hockey fan will ever want to watch it on a digital screen.
Now, I want to go back quickly because we got a lot of texts about the napping because there's longer naps, there's short naps, right? And there's whole things that you can look at as far as, the cognitive performance, perceptual responses, the psychological state and everything like that. So have they done enough studies on this to know for sure? Like, is there an ideal time? Is it 45 minutes?
I don't know. I didn't get into that with the GM. We spent some time together at his home a while back, and we just talked. I was just really impressed.
So did he encourage his players to shorten their naps? What did he do?
I mean, I don't know what the sleep doctor did specifically. I just, we just talked about it conceptually. I was there for a couple, 3 hours. We had lots on our plate. His daughter came home from school and was introducing me to his family. We spent some time together, but I just found it amazing. It's something that, believe me, I'd want to be looking into. So I don't know enough details to tell you if it should be shorter or longer. It sounds like generally it should be almost not at all.
Because, it can be a valuable tool for athletes, right? Because
sleep is a tool.
Yeah.
It's just, what sleep do you need?
Yeah, because the length of the nap, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get into that deep sleep if you only have a 30-minute or 45-minute nap, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. No, there are always going to be individual differences.
And then the
between
other
humans.
one is the timing relative to when your game is played.
Yeah.
That is one of the big parts
I would think,
of your nap, right? And everybody's different. Some people naturally and my wife needs way more sleep than I do. It doesn't, I can't, it's like 10 o'clock, wants to go to bed. I'm like, what? I can go to bed at 10 o'clock, but then I'm up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Well, I do go to bed at 10 o'clock, and everybody's, everybody knows, it's amazing how many people call me at 6:30. And quite often I'll say, well, what made you think I would be? Rich, you're always in. But I go to bed at 10. I found that a comfortable time for me, but I wake up at 4.
At 4?
4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
So I get 7 hours sleep, and I'm at the office at 5:45.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mornings because I can call Europe and talk to the guys there, and I can do other things, but it's quiet, but everybody is different,
Some people do. There's certain people that are just my brother always slept more than I did. It didn't matter. Right. At any, he just required more sleep.
We have two recent American presidents. One slept 24/7 and the other needs to sleep a little bit more. It looks like maybe just, but that's another conversation. But I think, yes, it's fundamental to healthy lifestyle, and we need to study it. And maybe you could start by just letting them bring their pillows from home.
Well, there is something about comfort of a pillow. We had a lot of people text that when they go on the road, they bring their own pillow because they feel comfortable.
My wife does that, and I think it's nutty, but it totally makes sense. I just think it's nutty because I like to carry on. I can carry on, so where's room for the pillow?
Yeah, it's like when you go to the Marriott pillows. I don't care. It's like they have the exact same pillow in every Marriott. They're unbelievable.
Fairmont. But I couldn't believe it. Now, I don't know if this is true of all of them, but I remember I'm coming back from Kamloops, and I don't often stay in the Holiday, and I don't think I've ever stayed in the Holiday Inn Express, not because I got anything against Holiday Inn Express, but, I'm a member of the Marriott chain. And are we calling them for that to let them know we're pumping it? But all of their pillows are the same. But in this particular Holiday Inn, I don't know if it's chain wide, they had a choice of pillow. I was like, that's a culture. Wow. And I ended up, because I'm a side sleeper, right? So if you're a side sleeper, you need, you want a little bit. If you're a back sleeper, you probably love those pillows at the Ritz-Carlton that squash around your ears and keep you act as both a muffler and a pillow. No, doesn't work for me.
No, it's true. Well, Rich, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy it. We'll be back with the business of sport in September. We take, some summer months off because, I guess you got to work. So.
There's not a lot to.
Yeah.
It's hard to get guests in the middle of the summer. They're all not working.
We'll touch base with you at different times over the summer for the business of sport. And we'll be back again next year. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks. It's been fun.
That's Rich Winter. Let's get to Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Do you want to hit the road? Feel the breeze in your hair? Well, guess what? You don't want to be stuck on the side of the road. So stop in at Fountain Tire. They'll check your tires, fluids, brakes, everything to ensure that you are rolling, not stalling. FountainTire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
We've got action on the ice tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Of course, it is the Panthers and Canes meeting just after 6 o'clock out in Carolina. Panthers lead that series 3-1. Good news for the Panthers in this one. It's looking like Sam Reinhart alongside a winger AJ Greer and defenseman Nico Mikko all likely to play in this one after missing game 4. In the Memorial Cup, host Rimouski taking on Moncton. Winner advances to the semifinal on Friday against the London Knights. Puck drop in a couple minutes here in the association. You got Thunder and Timberwolves meeting in OKC at 6:30. OKC up in that series, 3-1. In the majors, Jays in action tonight, taking on the Rangers in about 1 hour's time. Also, the Angels, Yankees, and Nationals taking on the Mariners. Right now, it looks like Orioles and the Cards facing some weather issues yet to get going. Earlier today, White Sox over the Mets 9-4. Dodgers fell to the Guardians 7-4. And it was the Brewers getting past the White Sox 6-5 in extras. The Edmonton Stingers are in action this evening down at the Expo Center, taking on the 0-3 Brampton Honey Badgers. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. You can get tickets at the Stingers.ca, and the Edmonton Elks announcing the signing of American kicker Braden Narvison and also releasing national kicker Campbell Fair. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Royce Mechie, defensive back for the Edmonton Elks. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta,
After 4 o'clock, welcome back, Jason Gregor.
Download
Connor,
it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You
Alberta.
in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for
Gregor.
summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The big one is here at the Brick. Big deals and even bigger savings. Score up to 25% off sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Up to 25% off TV stands, wall units, and fireplaces. And save 50% off beds when you buy 3 matching bedroom pieces. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 major kitchen appliances. Finally, start sleeping better when you save up to 50% off select mattresses. These big deals won't last long. Some exclusions apply. See in store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Oh, we're already here. We're here. That was so fast.
The Alberta government is building 90 new schools across the province, giving more communities more schools closer to home. Learn more at alberta.ca/schools now. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.506, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. So, hey, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, boys and girls, because I got to check my my math, but we are now, I think, exactly 10 away. So the final, we've done 87. We're at the Crosby. We got to get to McDavid for kids sport. We had Courtney on earlier from Kids Sport, and how it changed our whole life. Massive. If you missed that, I highly recommend going back and listening to the podcast or go to jasongregor.com. It's fantastic. So our goal today was to help 97 kids in Kids Sport. And this can be life-changing. As you heard from Courtney, she's in poverty. Her parents had substance abuse issues, and getting into sport changed her life. It saved her life. 10 years later, she's got a scholarship to play university volleyball in Calgary next year. It's unreal. Fantastic. So, and her twin sister, they're both doing great. So here's your opportunity to help out. If you're thinking on good karma, you know what? Zach Hyman, unfortunately, out for the playoffs, broken wrist. But the Oilers going to get Matthias Ekholm back, and maybe as early as tomorrow. I think there's a good chance you might see Ekholm tomorrow. I think you'll see Jeff Skinner. I think there's a good chance they might go 12-6 rather than 11-7. Well, we'll see how it plays out. I think just because of who the forwards that are out with Brown and Hyman, those are some guys who play a fair amount of minutes. So you're going to ask a lot more guys to play more minutes. So, because how many more minutes can McDavid and Draisaitl really play? 2 or 3 more? Well, that's not going to take up Hyman's numbers. You're going to have lots of other guys have to take on more. So maybe going to 12-6 gives you less chance to have to do that. So 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Let's get to 97. Who wants to help us out there? It's $25 a month or $300 for one timer. It's easy. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Now, it is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, underground infrastructure specialists. And they are hiring. If you want to work for an unbelievable company that loves promoting from within, that's what they do. But talk about Rich. You want to talk about a culture in a business? They have a fantastic culture there. Very few people leave. They just keep getting promoted. It's awesome. At GS Construction, Mark Spector joins us on a Wednesday afternoon. Spec, how are you, my man?
Doing great, man. Settled in here in Dallas, ready for a hockey game tomorrow night. Let's go, baby.
There will not be a Zach Hyman, but there could be a Matthias Ekholm tomorrow.
Well, we've been saying that for a while. It's got to happen.
No, I haven't said it once that I thought Ekholm was going to play.
Okay.
I think he's going to play tomorrow, though.
Okay. Well, you usually have a line on that stuff. It's about time. He's practiced for a long time, and he's clearly ready to play. He's clearly well over 90% here. So, good. I think you want him in a game before, if you get to the cup, you'd rather that not be his first game. And you know what? Maybe a team that loses a regular in Zach Hyman, maybe the dent that might leave in the dressing room gets a little bit filled if you bring back Ekholm, right? Maybe it's as much of a support in terms of actual tangible hockey player. Maybe it's also a little bit intangible coming back in your room. How about that?
Potentially. I also think it's, you throw in a guy like Jeff Skinner, who's, he's been a real good teammate. He's got a positive attitude. He's bouncing around every time you see him, but that he'll be just as jacked. And, Arvidsson came back in. You had Stetcher when him and Kapanen came in. And there is something like, remember veterans always talk, Spec, about when that rookie comes in and he plays his first game, and it kind of reminds you in November, December, January, what it was to be a rookie, and it's a good feeling. Well, I think when you have players in that room for a playoff game, it's kind of the similar thing. Everybody just feels the energy a little bit more.
No, that's for sure. Like those guys, just because Jeff Skinner's not playing, he's been with his team the whole year. Guys go out to dinner with him. He's got friends on that team. There's guys cheering for him. There's guys who feel bad for him that he's not playing. He's going to bring new life in if he's the guy that plays. I would say to you that what if you gave Trent Frederick a little bit more of a role here too?
Yeah.
He's been kind of buried on the fourth line playing 12 minutes a night. What if you open the door for him to play a little more? Maybe some of that physicality that you're losing in Hyman, you throw a few more minutes at Frederick, and let's see if his game grows a little bit, and if he brings some energy and does a few things. So, listen, it's never positive when you lose one of your best players. No one's saying it is, but there's a way for a coach to find some positives in and around it, and that's what we're talking about here.
What did you make of the Marchman hit? Like, I didn't think it was anything. Like, obviously, it ended up being bad, but it wasn't a malicious play. It wasn't trying to hurt him.
No, he took a little bit of a run at a guy, and the guy got out of the way, 80%. And it's really, the irony is, I think of Marchman's old man. And he used to, when he got older, his timing got a little poor, and he missed some hits. And what used to happen is guys would see him coming now, and they'd try to get out of the way. He'd stick a knee out, And then he'd say, well, geez, if the guy wouldn't have tried to get out of my way, he wouldn't have got hurt. And I would always think to myself, oh, yeah, like I'm going to just sit there, mush, and let you drill me at center ice. Like that ain't going to happen either. Honestly, if Marchment hits Hyman in the chest, if Hyman doesn't see him coming, if he takes the full brunt of the blow, I'll bet you he's practicing today or ready to play. But like anybody, he sees a hit coming and he gets out of the way. Who wouldn't? And it's absolute fluke. I see people saying it's a cheap shot and suspension and all that. Grow up. There's nothing wrong with that hit. There's nothing wrong with what Marchment did. There's nothing wrong with what Hyman did. It's a hockey play. What, you win some, you lose some, man. Too bad for Zach Hyman, but there's not even a 2-minute minor there.
You look at the game last night, Spec, and you know what? There was a few, like we've seen, games within the game. First period, Dallas really controlled it. The Edmonton Oilers, Stuart Skinner, excellent again. He made 3 or 4 really big saves, I thought, in the first period. But their power play, it was 1-0 because their power play, Dallas took an offensive zone penalty, they scored. Edmonton's next power play, Dallas took an offensive zone penalty, they scored. They actually took another offensive zone penalty in the third period with 5 minutes left, but the Oilers didn't score. So you have Stu Skinner doing what he's done in this series and really what he's done for 2 years against Dallas, dominate them, not let them score. And then you have your power play really for the first time in the playoffs where you can say their power play had a major impact in the outcome of a game.
And this is really the version of the new hero every night, right? This time the power play rides to the rescue when you needed it. You needed a couple of power play goals to make a difference in a game, and boom, there it was. And this was, we've said it 100 times. Stu Skinner, it's not a regular event for him when your team gets outplayed to still win you a game. But he did in game 6 last year, and he did in game 4 this year. Like he was the difference. That game could have been 3-1 in the first period for Dallas, not 1-0. So, it's a new thing that happened for them to win a game, and it doesn't have to happen 2 nights in a row. It just has to happen one night. Tomorrow night, they'll find someone, on a championship team tomorrow night, somebody else stands up and takes over the role of being a hero. And that's how teams win 16 games in, 40 days or 38 days or whatever it turns into. Because if you're waiting around for the same guy or the same unit or the same goalie to win for you every night, you're not going to play for 35 days. You're going to play for about 20.
Spec, if I could have given you, or you could have given me a lot of guesses to say, let's paint a picture for you. It's game 4 of the conference final. It's May 27th. The Oilers are leading 2-1 with 2.5 minutes left to play. Who's on the end? Well, Draisaitl is going to take the face-off. No-brainer. Nugent Hopkins is probably out there. Maybe Adam Henrique, but Zach Hyman, obviously, he's injured.
Yep.
No. Kasperi Kapanen is going to be on the ice in a 1-goal lead, and then he's going to score the empty net goal because he makes a really nice read and jumps up on the alley-oop from Kulak. And that's kind of the playoffs that it's been here. There's been lots of unexpected moments because if you would have asked 3 months ago, Kasperi Kapanen even going to be in a lineup, you might have been like, I don't know. Never mind on the ice protecting a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, this guy's a waiver pickup.
Yeah.
It's a waiver pickup. Anyone could have had him. Edmonton wasn't so, they were, what would they have been at when they picked him up? Probably like 21st or so in line, 22nd in line in the NHL. Like everybody could have had Kasperi Kapanen. And, Stan Bowman grabs them because they need a little bit of speed. And I always talk about this. If it's about getting the player at the right time. Other teams had Klingberg too, but he wasn't healthy and he wasn't very good. Edmonton gets him. He's healthy. Man, he's awesome. Kasperi Kapanen got waived by 2 teams in a row. And by the time he gets to this third team, he says, and probably someone in his life said to him, son, if you want to stay in this league, you got to quit getting waived. And that means you got to turn back into the player people want you to be. Use your speed. Be physical. Maybe you're not a first-line guy like you thought you were. Find a role. Stick on a team. Be a valuable component. And Edmonton got the Kasperi Kapanen that was maybe a little more desperate, right, after a couple of waiver claims here. And look at how much he's helped. He's been a good teammate, and he's blocking shots, and he's using his legs. And here you are. Here we go. We're in the most important game of the year. And who's the coach throwing over the boards, right? At that moment, like, You are dead right, Jay. Nobody would have seen that coming 3 months ago.
Yeah. I look at the Oilers and how they're playing. And hey, Dallas, hey, they came out good. And did they look defeated? Maybe, I don't know. Like Mikko Rantanen, honestly, Mikko Rantanen has no goals and 3 assists in his last 7 games, right? Like the Oilers have shut him down. Dallas didn't have 5-on-5 scoring. I outlined it before the series started. Why I thought it'd be an advantage for Edmonton, and that's played through to fruition. But Nugent Hopkins, Spec, maybe playing the best hockey of his life. He's got 9 points. First player in 37 years to have 4 consecutive multi-point games in the conference final to start the conference final, right? And a list of like 6 guys to ever do it. Gretzky, Neely, lots of other really good players.
Yeah.
Like Nugent Hopkins, Stuart Skinner told me he thinks it's the best hockey he's played, here in the last 10 games. What do you make of Nugent Hopkins and just what he's doing for this team right now?
He is. It's good to see. He didn't have a great year. And, Nugent has got a kind of special place around here, right? He's the longest serving guy. He's one of the first overalls that were supposed to be the saviors around here back when we thought that drafting one 18-year-old first overall was going to save your team, right? We've learned a lot since then. The fans love him. He's going to probably be a lifetime Oiler. He built a house in the city. He's had a child here now, married. Like, he showed up. He still can't grow a beard, for crying out loud. But other than that, he's pretty much grown up in this city. And look at him. Here you are. All of a sudden, when you talk about depth, right? He falls into depth. I mean, I know he's on the first line, but when you talk about guys that you think are going to carry your team, Nugent Hopkins is somewhere, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th down the list. And here he is. His numbers not only are the best in this series, Jay, they're the best in the 3rd round, including the Eastern series. So good for Nuge, man. His game is slick. He's checking, he's killing penalties, and the play he makes to Draisaitl and then to Perry, 2 heads-up passes right on the tape, right in the wheelhouse of the guy. Perry on the doorstep and Draisaitl in his office. Like, he's just playing fantastic hockey, and who doesn't love to see it? You ever meet anyone that doesn't like Nugent Hopkins?
Yeah.
Fair
What's
point.
Not
to like here?
Yeah, it's probably a very fair point. Spec, enjoy Dallas, and we'll see if the Oilers can end this one in 5. Get a little bit of rest now. Yeah, here's what I'm hearing: if Edmonton and Florida win in 5, the Stanley Cup will start Wednesday. If one of the series goes to 6 games, it's not going to start till the following Saturday. So
that's what you're hearing.
The schedule for the Stanley Cup final.
Okay, well, either way, if the Oilers win, they get a weekend free. That wouldn't hurt, a weekend away from the game for everybody. I'll be watching the Florida game. Starts in an hour here. They get everybody back. Mikola's playing, Reinhardt's playing, right? Greer's playing.
Yeah.
So none of those guys are that badly hurt. So let's go. Let's see where it goes here.
Yeah, should be a good one. Spec, have a good one.
Thanks, Jade.
That's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Now, we've had an unreal day for kids sport. First 3 hours, amazing. But we got up to 87. We need to get to 97. That was the goal. Karma Oiler fans. So let's get there. 833-401-1440. I'll take the first 2. So now we're down to 8. Okay? We need 8 more. It's $25 a month for a year, or a donation of $300 one-time thing. Okay? So I'll take 2. There's 8 left. 833-401-1440. We're up to 89. We want to get to 97. For kids sport, giving kids a chance in sport, it can be life-altering, as we heard from our kids sport recipient, Courtney, in the 3 o'clock hour today. So 833-401-1440. It's $25 a month for, and a lot of you, you're not even going to miss it. You'll just look at your Visa and you can smile once a month. Hey, helping out kids sport. That's awesome. All right, we'll give you updates. You're part of the Gregor's Giving Gang that we have, and we give you updates throughout the year. So it's cool. Who doesn't like a gang? Who doesn't want to be fun gang? Now, I can't say that we have cool leather jackets yet, but maybe that's something we'll look at. We'll see. But 833-401-1440. We need 8 of them. It will, you get a tax receipt, okay, from Kids Sport. All I need is you just text in with your name, and then I will get Dana to contact you, okay? So it's that simple. You get a tax receipt and more. So 833-401-1440. 1440. 833-401-1440. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Whether you're a weekend camper or you want to spend the summer on a great golf course, Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort has something for everyone. Over 200 service sites, enough room for large groups, and their new online reservation system for campers. See what Silver Creek RV Resort has in store for you. Call 780-855-3982 and book your reservation online today at silvercreekgolfcourse.com.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends.
Stop by the showroom throughout May for rebates as high as $11,500 or choose 0% financing. And make sure you take advantage of pre-tariff pricing while supplies last.
The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
When you need to get away to find a hidden gem where beauty meets serenity, Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort offers a breathtaking experience. With an exquisite 27-hole course, a fabulous restaurant, peaceful camping sites, the list goes on. Whether you spend the day or even the weekend, there's no shortage of ways to have the time of your life. Call Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort to book your ticket today. 780-855-3982. Online at silvercreekgolfcourse.com.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup Run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$527. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. So Conrad from Conrad Steele's in for 2. Dale's in for 2. Jerry and Gary, we're getting closer. So if you want to help us out, 833-401-1440. 1440, man. We're right down to the wire. This is awesome. I think we're going to get there to help out kids sport today. So it's $25 a month for a year or a one-time $300 donation, whatever's your choice. So you'll be part of the Gregor's Giving Game. We'll give you an update, and it's great. And more importantly, you know what? You're going to help out a kid and maybe change their life, the direction and the path of their life just by getting into sports. We heard from Courtney and how it changed her whole life, and 10 years later, she's now going to university and on a scholarship for volleyball. It's amazing, man. It is awesome stuff. So if you want in to help out kids sport, 833-401-1440. Just text in with your name, and away you go. Now let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. It's designed to elevate female youth hockey. And guess what? With the growth of the PWHL comes at a great time. And they're expanding. 12U, 14U, and next year, 16U. So check out femalesuperleague.com, and that's where you can sign up. The Edmonton Elks final preseason game goes this Friday night, and we're joined by one of the newest members of the Elks, of course, Grey Cup champion with Toronto, safety Royce Mechie joins us. Royce, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing excellent, man. We're helping out kids get into sports. You know what? Hey, I think you're a great example of how sports can change your life. It can definitely become a job in some instances. Roy, I want to go back to free agency and why Edmonton was the right spot for you.
Well, honestly, I was just kind of thinking, I'm just coming off a successful season in Toronto, and well, you know, as business goes, people kind of go in different ways. But I don't know, with just everything happening in Edmonton, it just felt like one of those times in life where things are aligning right. You know, from like Mark Gillen getting a job, I played with him in my rookie years in Calgary.
Okay.
Right, to Ed Hervey coming back, or even like Jake Shiraz and other players coming back to Edmonton, right? It just felt like one of those good years where things were aligning, and I don't know, I joked around this with a couple of my friends. It's like, I feel like a lot of things have kind of drawn me in this direction. Like, for example, my first interception was versus Edmonton. My first touchdown was versus Edmonton. My first Grey Cup was in Edmonton. So, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things that was just meant to be.
Oh, I like it. Are you somebody who's a big meant to be kind of believer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I am one of those people, but I also believe that if you work at what's meant to be, you know, then it increases your chances too.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. I love it. Now looking at the defense, you know, the guys on the D line, lots of them you play together in Toronto. You bring in 40 you played against in the Grey Cups on the corner. You have the linebackers. Kind of give me a sense of where you think the defense is at now that you guys have been together through camp and a preseason game.
I think we're right where we need to be, as cliche as that sounds, but I think we are, because we're starting to finally, like, we've put in the plays and we've gotten some practices under our belt together. We're like hanging out more and more, you know, like through camp, and because it's the first time we've all kind of been a group together. So I think it's going well. You know, I'm not going to say it's going, you know, perfect, because there are still things in which we're still trying to figure out, communication, just how certain, you know, I guess schemes attack ours and how we all see it. Okay. But no, I think we're in a great place right now.
Getting, you know, because you had so many guys come from Toronto, and of course, including your defensive line coach and Demetrius Maxey, so I know they're comfortable with him. You know, JC Sherritt comes in as the D coordinator, and my understanding is JC told me a lot of the terminology is similar for a lot of the guys. Has it, even though, you know, you come to a new team, Roy, has it been, you know, maybe easier of a transition because there's so many experienced guys and guys you played with, and then some all-stars at other positions?
Yeah, I definitely say it is. It definitely helps when all those, you know, things kind of stack up, right? So, yeah, I'd say yeah.
Looking ahead, can you get a sense of where your offense is in training camp? I know you guys go up against them head-to-head, and there's lots of healthy competition. I was there the first day at pads, and there's lots of hooting and hollering. I'm like, oh, the defense is a little bit ahead right now. Where do you see kind of your offense as a defensive guy when you go up against Ford and them in offense? What impresses you about the offense?
Right off the bat, I'd say they're climbing, right? And that's what impresses me the most, because for them, it's not as easy as for us on defense because we have a lot of the same verbiage. For them, it's a new head coach, you know, a new OC, new terms and everything. And let's be honest, offensive, they put in more plays than defenses do. Theirs is a little more complicated. And so just because of like they have a little more on their plate, I guess that's kind of results to why that first time you saw us, the defense was ahead, just because we were a little bit faster in terms of playing the game. They were still kind of, you know, figuring it out.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Royce McKechnie joins us. Of course, safety. Royce, in the secondary, from a safety to a half to a corner, what is it about the safety position that you like? And why does it fit maybe better to your skill set?
I'd say at the safety, it's definitely a lot more communicated. Like the others, you communicate, but at safety, you're kind of positioned perfectly to talk to everyone in the secondary, you know, the backers, and then even get down towards the linemen and stuff. And it's like you kind of see, and you see how the offense comes out also. So it's like for a moment, you get to digest all of it. While when you're on the sides, like either the boundary or the field, you're getting either the boundary or the field perspective. But safety, you kind of see it. So I think that aligns with my skill sets, just because I'm someone that I like to kind of like watch them. I like to study a game. I like to, you know, just kind of learn more. So I don't know. I'd say, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, that's
like someone that, like a student of the game, to be able to be in the middle and to help the young guys around me kind of just see certain things. Like, hey, I know like when this guy lines up here, you're probably going to get that, so I can help you in this way. So I think that's how it kind of aligns with me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. The physicality, you know, like there's some safeties that are real bangers, right? Like they like to step up and you get a guy where, you know, do you have to have that automatically, do you think, to be a good safety?
Yeah, I think at safety, you got to have that, or even at least the mindset of it, because at safety, it's a position where you're kind of committing to protecting everyone, right? And so you got to be the secondary help to a lot of people. And it's like when you get there, it's like you got to be able to finish the play, help them out, right? Get the guy on the ground or just make the stop. So
that makes it. Now, I want to ask about your brother who plays in the NFL, and how when you're, because you know your seasons, they overlap a little bit. Do you go down and watch them live, vice versa? How does that work?
Yeah, I try my best to go, but usually if it doesn't align on a bye week, then it'd have to, like, I would try to align it with kind of their playoffs or like the end of the season after ours. Like when our playoffs are over, then, you know, try to go catch maybe the Christmas game. And he does the same right before camp, after OTAs and stuff. When we get going, if his schedule aligns, then he'll try to come up and see a game too.
Okay. Now you and John, how competitive were you as kids?
Very, very. I think all our friends, family, everyone can attest to that. And it was like we were competitive, not even just like with our own friends and everything, but like even with each other too, which made it great. And I think it definitely helped us, you know, as we were growing. Because it's like he'd be, let's say, we got 4 years between us, so he'd be in grade 4, I'm in grade 8, and if we're out of recess and we're playing something, yeah, we go against each other. Sometimes we'd be on the same team.
Yeah. Now you're, if I'm not mistaken, you and because there's 4 brothers in total, correct? Yeah. And you and your mom, you came here while your father stayed behind for a bit when you came to Canada originally. How challenging was that? Like when you consider, you know, coming to a new country, I don't know, what did you know as a young boy when you came to Canada?
Truthfully, I'd say I didn't really know much about Canada. Right, because it's like the education wise, it was like similar, but you learn more about the world there than you do the world here, right? Like even like history and stuff. So like when I got here, I was like, I think I had my first history class. I'm like, whoa, what are we learning about? Like, where are we? Right? How come I've never heard of any of this? So it was challenging just because of a lack of knowing.
Yeah. And then. What about, I think it was John's rookie year when he was diagnosed with leukemia. As an old, because you're older brother, so naturally as an older brother, you're usually a little bit more like you look out for a younger brother. Even though there's rivalries, it's still your younger brother. You can pick on him, but no one else can pick on him. That's kind of normally how it works in the brother world. How did you deal with that, and how did that impact your family?
Well, I think, or I'd say, sorry, rather than I think, I don't know. It's kind of, I think I handled it well, as any brother would. I just kind of figured, okay, this is what he's going through, and this is new for him. This is new for all of us. I'm gonna make sure that I kind of invest all of my attention to it, right? Like, let me be there because he needs it, right? He's going through changes. He's experiencing things. Everyone is kind of shocked because, I guess, the stigma around cancer and everything, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, it was just like, all right, my mindset was just, let me be a safety net for everyone, right? Let me be there and drop everything and be there. I'm going to show up right away. I think the coaches were cool about it. We had a little conversation. They said, yeah, you go ahead. So I think I took the week off, flew down, made sure everyone was able to get down, and we're just all there to be there for him and each other, to understand, I guess, the situation in which we were in.
Yeah, that's fair. As we are joined now by starting safety for the Edmonton Elks, Royce Mechie. Royce, anything significant with number 9 as to why you wear it?
Well, yeah. 9 is my mom's favorite number, and it's also my dad's favorite number. But then to me, it's like, it's one of those numbers that when you think of, I guess, numerology, it's a constant chase for perfection, right? Or like it's a constant chase for greatness. Like, even in, like, when you go and buy something, you see something that's $5.99, you automatically round up to $6. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, so now what if you were $9.99? You could round up to 10, though, couldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 9's a good number. It always has like a positive flow to it.
Now, John, you know what? I really enjoyed this interview. I think it's the first time I've had you on the show. You seem like a very, like, kind of thoughtful guy. Like, you think things out. So I got to assume that helps you as a safety, even though everything, it's coming at you quick, right? Like, you're in the back. You got to read stuff. Lots of times, you're the voice. You're calling the defense, especially for the other guys in the secondary. How does that, like, do you feel that it helps your personality? Because you seem in just now, maybe I'm wrong, but in our brief interview here, that you're kind of like a little bit of a deep thinker. So does that help you on the football field?
Yeah, I like to think of myself as a quarterback on defense sometimes. I might not have the arm for quarterback, but I can get people in the right positions to make a play.
Okay. All right. Now, can you run like the Ford brothers?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, because I know Ty Ford and Trey did admit that he thinks Ty's quicker. Now, if Royce Mechie and Ty Ford are having a race, who's quicker?
You know what? I don't even know. I honestly don't know, because I just know that when I race my brother, we have some great races, and we are both flying. So
okay,
racing is in my blood. We love to race, and we love a race.
Oh, I might have to come down and practice and see that. I'm in for racing. I would see it. That's always fun, because I know the competition amongst guys is pretty quick. If you had to pick someone other than yourself, who do you think is the fastest guy currently on the green and gold?
Well, if Trey thinks Tyrell, then I think Tyrell. I don't know. I don't know about the other positions, right?
Okay. All right. So there's no receiver.
You know what? Sorry, let me take that back. Let me quickly shout out some of my other DBs because they are fast.
All right. Well, what about a receiver? No receivers ran by you yet in practice, is what you're telling me.
Well, a couple have. They ran by, but I wouldn't say we were like racing at full speed, right?
Okay. They just had a better angle.
The route do this. They got behind us. They took off.
Okay. All right. Well, I like it. Royce, we'll have to talk to you again soon, man. Best of luck. Do you know, are you expecting to play a half? Is a half enough for you to get ready on Friday night? Is that all you need?
I think the general consensus is that we're all getting ready to play at least a half.
Okay.
So everyone on the team is just, we're all prepared to play a half and more if possible.
Awesome. Well, best of luck, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you guys soon.
You betcha. That's Royce Mechie. I really enjoyed that interview. One guy, his brother John, pretty good player in the NFL as well. So pretty athletic family, I would say that. Now, of course, John was also drafted in the CFL back in 2022, but is currently a member of the Houston Texans. Did have to sit out his rookie year after being diagnosed with leukemia, but then he returned and has played the last 2 seasons. Take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up. And man, we got a lot. Hey, I think we reached our goal. Got to crunch the numbers. I think we might have beat our goal. It's always better to beat it. It's fantastic. We'll come back. Update on Kids Sport here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Yeah, waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress, guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:46. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. And man, we had an unreal run there before the or during the Royce interview, we had, you know what? We needed, what do we need? 8? I think we needed 8. And we end up with way more than that, Bruce came in at with 2, and then had a lot of other people. Jerry, Gary, Ian, Mike, Michael, Puffy, Nick, Maurice, Elvis, Larry, Travis, and Bud. Which now Danny's going to double check because even Manny came back in and said he wanted to donate more, which is unreal. So we'll get the official. I know we're over 100. Our goal was 97. We're over 100. I think we're actually at 105, maybe even 106 or 7. So that's outstanding. So it's always better to do more. That's great, Karma Order fans. You came through. And so that is a big difference maker for over 100 kids that they're going to be playing sport next year. That is absolutely amazing stuff. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. No payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. You're going to stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, of course, longtime journalist in town. Cam has cerebral palsy. Cam's in a wheelchair. And due to his disability, he was never able to be on radio live until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Time. It's a funny thing, isn't it? On the one hand, the clock's always ticking down, a relentless, unforgiving beast. We're constantly running out of it. But on the other, we're building a lifetime of memories, of laughter, of pure, unadulterated fun. How beautifully, wonderfully ironic is that? We talk about it in the pros all the time. What it takes to win, the blood, the sweat, the tears. More often than not, it's a lesson learned through absolute soul-crushing heartache. You don't have to look far. And I know. For some of you, the wound is still fresh. Game 7, last year's Stanley Cup final. The Oilers falling by a single solitary goal. A single goal, Gregor. The difference between immortality and a long, quiet summer of what-ifs. But here's the thing. The lessons we learn from that kind of agony, they're the same lessons we need to learn how to have fun. Strange, isn't it? Hence, the name of the game. Fun sport. And double hence, if that's even a thing, the whole point of it all. Fun in sport. Every single kid out there has a fundamental right to learn, in a structured, supportive way, how to just have fun, to play, to be part of a team. And that, right there, is what this is all about today on the Jason Gregor Show. $25 a month for a kid to belong, to be part of a team. Now, you know we love bending the rules of grammar here on the Big Radio Bonanza Extravaganza. So let me tell you what that $25 ain't. It ain't a donation. It ain't a handout. And it sure ain't about a tax receipt. It's an investment. An investment in a kid's life. If they find a sport they love and they soar to the highest heights, fantastic. But if they simply learn how to have fun, how to be a good teammate, that, my friends, is even greater. It's a chance to win and have fun. And maybe even more importantly, it's a chance to lose and still have fun. At 6 o'clock tonight, this show is over. 833-401-1440. And Jason, please add my name to help 4 kids have fun every month. 2-minute warning with TAITERGREGOR show. Sports 1440.
Cam Tate, he's a beauty, man. I like it. And it's, I like what he said. It is an investment. It's an investment on, kind of hoping to make our society better, right? We heard from Courtney, who grew up in poverty, and you know what? They broke the chain for her and her sister. They got out. They got an education. She said before she was in kid sport, she didn't have any guidance really. Her parents, unfortunately had substance abuse issues and didn't have a lot of great guidance. But then getting into sport, and luckily she had some good coaches in her sport. And that helped her. She fell in love with volleyball, learned how to be a competitor, learned how to, as she said, control her emotions. She'd never really been in a situation where you can't just yell and scream at people. The other team beats you. You have to be calm and control and respectful. And that turned into her getting a scholarship to play volleyball at the University of Calgary. She'll go next year. That's unreal. So that's what you are. That's what you're doing when you help out kids sport. You're helping kids and you're giving them a chance to reach levels they didn't even know were possible. Just through, as she said, she felt part of something. She didn't stand out anymore because she never really had good shoes, but because Kid Sport took care of all the funds, they were able to get shoes. So it's a good thing. So all of you who donated and all of you who listened as we said it and didn't get annoyed, thank you. That's what matters. And it is it's a fantastic day to be able to help out this many kids. So it's great. Coming up tonight, you have the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes, as the Florida Panthers will try to punch their ticket to their third consecutive Stanley Cup final. They lost in 23, won in 24. We'll try to defend it. The Edmonton Oilers, of course, they lost last year. They'd love nothing more. We haven't seen a rematch in the Stanley Cup since 08-09. Detroit and Pittsburgh. Detroit won the first one. Pittsburgh won the second one. Prior to that, you got to go back to 83-84. Islanders won the first one. Oilers won the second one. Oiler fans are hoping that history continues. A rematch, and the Oilers are victorious. They got a hell of a chance, man. A hell of a chance. Even without Zach Hyman, who unfortunately is done with a broken wrist, which is just terrible news for him. Most likely, they left the door open. They said most likely out for the remainder of the playoffs. Because technically, Game 7 could be as late as June 23rd or June 20th, depending on when they start. Stanley Cup is either going to start next Wednesday, if both series end in 5, or next Saturday. So keep that in mind. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Ewell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, there's one stop, ewel.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Tough news for the Edmonton Oilers as they announced that Zach Hyman underwent surgery this morning for an upper body injury. With that, he is most likely to miss the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight on the ice. You got game number 5. Canes and Panthers down in North Carolina. Florida leading that series 3-1 in the association. Thunder taking on the Timberwolves. Game 5 of their best of 7. OKC up 3-1. That one gets going at 6:30. And in the majors, Toronto Blue Jays in action. They'll take on the Texas Rangers. That gets going in about 10 minutes time. Right now, the Orioles up on the Cards 3-0 in the bottom of the third later tonight. Cubbies meet the Rockies. The Yankees are in Anaheim taking on the Angels. And you've got the Mariners taking on the Nationals. At the Memorial Cup right now, after 20 minutes from Mooski leading Moncton 2-1. The winner of this game will advance to Friday's semifinal against the OHL champion London Knights. And the Edmonton Stingers are in action this evening, taking on the Brampton Honey Badgers. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets to the stingers.ca. And from the CFL, the Edmonton Elks signing American kicker Braden Narvison and releasing national kicker Campbell Fair. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440. A Stingray.